falling throughout the day. 38 degrees by 5 p.m. and 17 degrees Thursday night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 34. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
I'm Shawn Braley, Executive Director at Springfield Supportive Living. Our staff have been rock stars. I haven't heard anybody say, that's not my job. They have made sure that the residents' mental, physical, and emotional needs are met. Once you move in here or start working here, you become part of our family.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
This is the Crime Stoppers Crime of the Week, sponsored by Barcom Security.
Hi, I'm Officer Drew Zabados, Crime Stoppers Coordinator for Sangamon and Menard Counties. This week, Crime Stoppers is seeking information to assist the Springfield Police Department in locating 2 subjects who are suspected of being involved in several forgeries throughout the area totaling over $7,000. The 2 subjects are Curry L. Banks, a 26-year-old male, and Marquell C. Scott, a 25-year-old male. Banks and Scott are believed to have been traveling in a rental vehicle. The vehicle is a black Dodge Durango with Georgia registration TEK3921. Photos of the suspects and their vehicle can be found on our website, cashfortips.us. If you know the location of the suspects or their vehicle, call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 217-788-8427, submit a tip on our website, or use the P3 app. If your tip results in an arrest, you could receive a cash reward up to $2,500. Remember, Crime Stoppers only want your information, not your name.
Catch a criminal, get a reward. Crime Stoppers of Sangamon and Menard County, sponsored by the Springfield office of Barcom Security. BarcomSecurity.com. Have a secure day.
Are you more concerned about crime than you were a year ago? You're probably not alone. But this rising wave doesn't have to catch you off guard. Barcom Security is protecting more Central Illinois homes and businesses every day. Being proactive and dealing with it now will keep you and your family more secure. Make it your next call. Contact the Springfield office of Barcom Security for a free estimate and have a secure day.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Well, happy Wednesday. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, live and local each and every weekday morning from 6 to 9. And as we've been doing each and every weekday morning, we've been working to update you on the latest in litigation against Illinois' gun ban and magazine ban. It's now since January 10th. It's now February 22nd. It's been about 42 days of the gun ban being in place, and a stack of lawsuits are, of course, working through the process. Tons to get to this morning. Of course, the 7 o'clock hour is going to be focused on the council roundup, which is a look at Springfield City Council meeting. It was a 4-hour meeting last night, more than 4 hours. I was able to review all of it in double time early this morning, get all that together. We'll have some of the highlights. They passed a city budget last night. Amazingly, Springfield Alderman Joe McMiniman supported that, so we'll highlight that a bit, but also some contention between certain wards versus others when it comes to who's proposing ordinances and how certain spending is being allocated and so on. So a lot to get to with the council roundup. So looking forward to sharing that with you in the 7 o'clock hour. But let's go ahead and get into it. You've got 4 different lawsuits in state courts where they are challenging Illinois' gun ban. And you've got 4 different lawsuits in federal court that's challenging Illinois' gun ban. We're going to take these next 2 segments here to review some of the latest arguments being made in both the federal and state level courts. Now, with the state level courts, you've got consolidation that's been requested by the attorney that brought the first state level case, Attorney Thomas DeVore. He filed with the Illinois Supreme Court to wrap in his 2 Effingham County cases and his White County case. where there are temporary restraining orders in place, including the first Effingham County restraining order being upheld by the appellate court, triggering the other 2 restraining orders. So DeVore has those 3 cases. But you have a separate case that was brought forward by State Representative Dan Calkins and his attorney, Jerry Stocks, and that's in Macon County. And that also has a temporary restraining order on it. What's interesting, though, is on February 14th, Attorney DeVore, he filed with the Illinois Supreme Court to consolidate those 4 different cases into one case. But you also have Stocks in the Macon County case fighting to have a hearing before what was scheduled for March 20th. Instead, now there seems to be an agreement to move forward with a status hearing on the 3rd of March. So what's going on here is you have somewhat of different legal principles that these attorneys are using to attack the state's gun and magazine ban. In the state level cases, these deal with certain issues, and the issues that DeVore has brought up that has at least stuck with the appellate process. They say that there seems to be a likelihood that the plaintiffs in the case, thousands of people signed on as plaintiffs on these lawsuits, there's a likelihood of success on the charge of an equal protections violation. And that's because of what the state says is certain individuals that aren't having to comply with the state's gun and magazine ban, like law enforcement, retired cops. You've got those in the security sector. You've got even jailers and wardens and so on. So the state says that those individuals don't have to comply with the gun and magazine ban. They can go and buy guns from gun stores. Gun stores can sell guns to them, and they don't have to register their firearms starting October 1st, like the rest of us do if you have a firearm on this list of assault weapons. So that's the charge, that this law violates equal protections because it carves out certain individuals to have access to the Second Amendment rights and others don't. That's the allegation. That seems to have carried through thus far, at least the likelihood they'll succeed on the merits of that argument. But there are other issues in the state level cases, and that includes the procedural issues. Did this law pass in a proper manner? Did it follow the 3 readings rule, having 3 separate readings on different days? Did it follow the issue of the single subject rule, having a one subject within a bill? Did it violate the due process of having everybody involved in these negotiations for legislation? So those procedural issues haven't advanced. Doesn't mean they're done, but they haven't fully advanced yet. And none of these issues have in the state level courts. But Attorney Thomas DeVore, he's put subpoenas in for his cases to get documents pertaining to discussions and negotiations among all of those who were involved, like Speaker Emanuel Chris Welch, President Don Harmon, the governor's office, and a whole list of other lawmakers. DeVore has put subpoenas in, and he's arguing in a live video he did last night. He's arguing that the case that Jerry Stocks is representing Dan Calkins in might too prematurely get to the Illinois Supreme Court and not have these issues fully hashed out and vetted, which he says doesn't give them the ability or the, quote, ammunition or the, quote, weapons to go to the Supreme Court with their argument saying that this is a violation of individuals' rights. There was no rational basis for the so-called training and so on. Here's just some of Tom DeVore and his law partner in these cases, Brian Drew, talking about this during a live stream last night.
The only way we win is if we have a record developed to push back. Yeah. And if they go strict scrutiny, it doesn't matter. Everybody's happy. But if they don't go strict scrutiny, which there's a real chance they don't, you cannot win this case on behalf of our clients unless you have all the information that we've gathered and started gathering, like the issue of the wardens. How could they ever explain to the Supreme Court that it's about training when none of your prison wardens have any training with these weapons that have been banned? It's impossible for them to deal with that. But you know what? In Dan Calkins' case, that issue never comes up. Never comes up.
No, it is. I'm frustrated as well, and we want to. I've never seen, and in looking at all these cases through all these years, I've never seen the Attorney General's office fight against consolidating several different cases into one, so they only have to argue at once. I'm sure it may have happened somewhere, and I haven't seen every case that's ever existed. But
We've seen everyone that's existed since COVID, and there were none of them, and we were in all of them.
I got to go to Springfield with everybody else and sit in my line and wait. And because they consolidated them all, the Supreme Court did. This is the only time I've seen the AG's office fight against consolidation. And it's the only time.
Why is the Supreme Court fighting our cases against consolidating the Macon County, Counselor?
What's that?
Why are they fighting it? And they don't want the Macon County case consolidated with ours, right?
Oh, no, the AG doesn't because Macon County's agreed not to engage in any discovery. That means the Speaker of the House, that means the President of the Senate never have to raise that right hand, go under oath and say, did you read this bill? Did you gut this bill? Did you do this? Did you do that? They're never going to have to do it. You watch. They haven't answered the complaint. They won't file the first affidavit. Neither one of them will enter into this case in any appreciable way in Macon County at all. In our case, they're going to have to answer that verified complaint under oath. They're going to have to put that right hand up under oath. And that is worth something.
So again, just some of the arguments here on the difference between the DeVore cases and the Calkins case, and how DeVore and Drew are arguing that Calkins might get to the Illinois Supreme Court too prematurely without the evidence stacked up that they're looking to get from these subpoenas of these various lawmakers. So that's just the state level cases. You have differences as well in the federal cases that have been brought and what could be the movement towards trying to ultimately consolidate those cases. So we'll get you that update coming up here next. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. Let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got yourself some wet conditions moving through the area. The high of around 63 today, the low of 45 with a continued chance of showers. And then for your Thursday, sunny with a high of around 39. So the temperature is actually going to be dropping throughout the day tomorrow. Thursday night, the low of around 20, could be blustery. Friday, mostly sunny, 35 the high. Saturday, mostly sunny, the high of 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 56. Right now, let's take a look at that forecast where you've got around, 44 degrees and some rain in the area. So, yeah, be careful out there. Roads might be just a little slick. Now, 620 at Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Lucky, lucky, lucky. At Impact Life, we are lucky to have donors like you. To show how appreciative we are of you, right now when you donate blood, we'll give you a voucher for a Kelly Green Changing the World Together t-shirt. Just in time for St. Paddy's Day. How festive. Or choose a voucher for a $10 gift card to one of our participating businesses. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still giving you a voucher for a gift card or a lucky Kelly Green t-shirt. Don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield, or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please give what's in your heart, because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
John, do you remember what you were doing, say, about 10 years ago?
About as good as recalling what happened last week.
Right. Well, if you purchase, say, a dishwasher at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World 9 years and 364 days ago, it'd still be covered.
By the famous 10-year protection plan, of course.
Well, it's included with most purchases at Dick Van Dyke. And according to one Google reviewer, they still had unmatched prices and helpful people who delivered and set up the appliances without hassle.
The review mentions that they shopped around, did the comparison, and still found the best value at Dick Van Dyke.
So can you really not recall what you did last week?
Can you?
Now that I think of it, not really.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases, and we still beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
This is a Tempur-Pedic mattress, and it's designed to help make aches and pains a thing of the past. Because only Tempur-Pedic uses our one-of-a-kind, incredibly adaptive Tempur material to relieve pressure points and support your body in a way no other mattress can. Molecule by molecule and millimeter by millimeter. All night, every night.
Visit Springfield's local independent Tempur-Pedic dealer, the Yawn Exterminators. Just Beds. Free delivery, setup, and removal. Just Beds on Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Just Beds.
As you sit slightly sideways staring at a ditch, it's about now you're thinking, I sure wish I'd have visited Lauterbach and done something about these tires. Worry not, we've all been there. And Lauterbach is here. It's the Lauterbach man, and I'm overlooking stacks of fresh tires ready for your car. Putting two and two together, it's pretty clear that a place called Lauterbach Tire is quite exceptional when it comes to those rubber miracles. See, good tread and properly balanced tires can mean the difference between you choosing when to stop and that slushy ditch choosing for you. And it's not exaggerating to say better tires can mean a safer Springfield. I'm serious about safety, and I know you are too. So let's meet over lunch or whenever is convenient for you and find you a nice set of safe tires. You'll be happy, and that car in front of you right now will be happy too. See my talented techs at Lauterbach Tire on Wabash today, and drive safely now.
You create phenomenal value for your clients. You offer something extraordinary. Your work is your passion. At Ace Sign Company, we create visual communications that capture the professionalism, purpose, and the extraordinary values of your business. Discover how our team can work with yours to ignite your clients' confidence and strengthen your brand with true inspirational signage. Ace Sign Company, built to inspire. AceSignCo.com.
All right, head on over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, where the question is, should the U.S. continue to provide military and economic assistance to Ukraine as the Russian invasion enters a second year? And it looks like most of you are saying no. 85% of you say no. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll. While you're on the website, find out how you can win a $75 rebate with Fly SPI. Real simple. All you got to do is register and answer a trivia question. One trivia question per week. And if you get that trivia question right, then you know what? You can go ahead and get entered into winning a $75 rebate. So I'll be announcing this week's winner tomorrow at 7:50. Go to WMAY.com for it all.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
So we've been reviewing some of the latest in the cases against Illinois' gun ban, the state-level cases. Got Attorney Thomas DeVore in a live stream last night explaining his opposition to the idea of advancing the Macon County case before they get a record built of statements and whatnot from the Senate President, the House Speaker, the Governor's office, and how they crafted and passed this bill, especially when it comes to the issue of training for individuals individuals, because that seems to be the argument that the state has made against the challenge here, saying, hey, law enforcement are properly trained, wardens are properly trained, and so on. So that's the argument the state has made in defense of the law. But apparently the judges thus far say that that's not likely to succeed, and the plaintiffs raising the issue of separation of powers are the ones likely to succeed. So if Calkins' case, which doesn't deal with the issue of training and challenging it on that aspect, according to DeVore, if it doesn't build that record, then by the time DeVore's cases get to the Illinois Supreme Court, then they won't have that record built, and they'll have different precedents being set, so to speak. So some concerns about how fast Calkins' case might get there versus DeVore taking the time to build a record. That seems to be the major differences in the state level cases. But there's also been some movement in the federal cases. We, of course, had the case of Naperville, where the plaintiffs there had their temporary restraining order declined by a federal judge in the Northern District. And when we talked with John Bach from Gun Save Life, he says that he does not anticipate that impacting the federal cases that they have in the Southern Districts. And here's John Bach from our conversation with him yesterday.
This is just a request for a preliminary injunction. This isn't a final decision on the case. And I think a different judge is going to have a very different view on the Bruin decision and its impact on the laws that Illinois has passed.
And he also notes that the Northern District federal judge in that case has already been overturned on two other gun issues, the Ezell case from 2010 and the Ezell case from 2014. And Bach fully expects that the judge is going to be overturned on this case as well.
So I wouldn't be surprised to see the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals grant the injunction over Judge Kendall's head. And it's going to be interesting to watch her get slapped down a third time because obviously the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals knows what the Bruin case means. It knows what the Second Amendment says, and that's going to be that.
So, again, that Naperville case, at least on the federal circuit level, was turned down. They did not advance a temporary restraining order or a preliminary injunction. The judge saying that the Naperville gun ban and the state gun ban is constitutional. Now, also on Friday, the state made a motion to ultimately allow for their response to all four cases to have a coordinated briefing. Because if you recall last week, a federal judge said that the state has to show a list of all items banned. And then the state requested a delay in responding to the federal firearms licensees of Illinois case. And the judge denied that motion, saying that there's no harm in the state's responding to all four cases. So now the state on Friday said, well, we want to respond in a coordinated briefing to all four. Now, the judge yesterday, Stephen McGlynn, in the federal district of the Southern District of Illinois, he said that, okay, well, we're going to have a hearing on Friday to discuss this further. And just to show you what that docket entry looks like here, this is from a federal court's monitoring system called PACER. It says the court's in receipt of the agreed motion for entry of proposed stipulation regarding coordinated preliminary injunction briefing for consolidation in this court. This matter is set for a status conference hearing on Zoom Friday. That's coming up this Friday at 10 o'clock to discuss the aforementioned motion as well as consolidation of the four cases. So we could see consolidation being discussed in the federal district of the Southern District of Illinois. Todd Vandermeide, another gun rights advocate and who's been helping with the federal firearms licensees of Illinois case, he talked about this briefly last night on his YouTube channel, Freedoms of Steel, and discussed briefly about what this could ultimately mean and what they could hear come Friday.
And that's it. And so with that, Friday morning, we're going to get a status call. The lawyers are all going to be on this Zoom call to hear what the judge has got to say, what his thoughts are on how to proceed with four cases that are similarly situated. And we'll get a read on what his take is. I'm sure the Naperville case will come up. I'm sure that there will be the state trying to consolidate everything, even though there are differences among the lawsuits. And we'll see if there's anything else the state wants to bring up. We did see that today one of the state's attorneys that is named in the SAF suit wanted to add more time for their brief. So we'll see what that looks like. We'll see how the judge wants to deal with them. In that case,
he then goes on to talk about other cases with Highland Park, but you get a kind of a sense here that there's some distinct differences between not just the state level cases, as we heard with Tom DeVore and his pointing out the differences with the Macon County case, but also on the federal side. You've got the case that Todd Vandermyde's been working with, the Federal Firearms Licensees of Illinois, that focuses on the gun and parts ban, while the State Rifle Association, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, and the Crawford County case deal with the ban on guns and magazines. So some interesting differences developing here now, a month and 10 days or so in to Illinois' gun and magazine ban. We'll be covering all of the latest twists and turns in a global perspective here on WMAY with Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop, and you can always reach out to me via email, bishoponair@gmail.com. Again, bishoponair@gmail.com, or you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Just search Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way as well. All right, stay tuned. We got a ton more to get to, including the back and forth between Governor Ron DeSantis and Governor J.B. Pritzker. But right now, a check of headlines at 6:35.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story last year saw a record number of guns intercepted at airport checkpoints across the country. The numbers have been steadily climbing and hit 6,542 last year. Nearly everyone caught claims to have forgotten they had their gun with them, but experts emphasize the danger even one gun can pose in the wrong hands on a plane or at a checkpoint. The top 10 list for gun interceptions is Dallas, Austin, and Houston in Texas, 3 airports in Florida, Nashville, Atlanta, Phoenix, and Denver. Springfield aldermen are set to take a final vote on a new city budget at tonight's meeting and need to consider around 3 dozen proposed amendments to the spending plan. City Budget Director Bill McCarty says the city's strong finances and healthy budget surplus have led to the unusually high number of proposals to spend the extra funds. The budget must be approved before the start of the new fiscal year on March 1st. Local leaders are touting Springfield's strong showing in a recent ranking by the Wall Street Journal of emerging housing markets around the country. WMAY News first reported that Springfield appears at number 17 nationwide. The ranking is based on cost of living, the cost of housing, stability of the real estate market, and the health of the local economy. Mayor Jim Langfelder expects Springfield will continue to build on that ranking with major projects like the railroad relocation effort and the Skeels Legacy Point Sports Complex in the works. State agriculture and public safety officials have designated this week as Grain Bin Safety Week, calling attention to the risks faced by workers in silos. Estimates are that 20 to 30 workers a year are engulfed by grain in a bin, and more than half of those incidents are fatal. The Illinois Department of Agriculture and the State Fire Marshal offer a list of safety tips, including the use of safety harnesses, wearing dust filters or respirators, and having other workers on hand to assist in case of an emergency. Former Springfield alderman and longtime fixture on the city's north end, Bob Vos, has died. The 94-year-old served for a total of 12 years on the Springfield City Council, operated Vos Concessions, which runs a popular corn dog stand on the Illinois State Fairgrounds, and supported Goodwill and other charitable organizations. His contributions to the city were honored several years ago with a designation of a lot at North Grand and Monument Avenues as Bob Vos Corner. Funeral arrangements for Vos are pending. 13 new members are being inducted into the Springfield Sports Hall of Fame. This year's class includes a number of high school standouts, including Jim Files, a 1980 Lamphere High graduate and the only runner from a Springfield school to win a state cross-country championship. The new inductees also feature a father and son, longtime Lamphere girls basketball coach Doug Collins and his son, Major Clay, a 2-time state high jump champion. Also being honored at this week's event are former State Journal-Register sports writers Mike Chamness and Jim Rupert. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. For over 60 years, Menards has been the one-stop shop for post-frame buildings. Whether it's protecting equipment, livestock, or you just need a place to keep your toys, Menards has a post-frame building for you. Design and buy your new post-frame today for 11% off. There's no limit to what you can save. Good through February 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections, Springfield to Dallas to anywhere. The Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport remains open for you. Your hometown airport is committed to providing a safe, clean, and healthy travel experience. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next American Airlines flight from SPI at aa.com. Fly local, fly SPI.
Take the easy way out.
Hi, it's Taylor Stevens from Synergy Home Care. Catch our business spotlight this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Showers and thunderstorms continuing throughout the day. High near 63. Clearing skies tonight with a low of 45 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and windy with temperatures falling throughout the day. 39 degrees by 5 p.m., 20 degrees tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 35, low around 28. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Central Illinois' home for Lazy Boy furniture is Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon. Right now, Hendricks is offering some deep discounts on in-stock popular Lazy Boy recliners and stationary recliners, sofas, love seats, and sectionals. If you've shopped Hendricks Home Furnishings recently, make a return trip to see fresh inventory in their showroom. For 70 years, Hendricks has been featuring customer service that matches their quality. Open Monday through Saturday, Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4 in Verdon.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher, and I'm running for Springfield Mayor. My goal is to bring new leadership for a better Springfield, and that means rolling up my sleeves and hitting the ground running to make sure things get accomplished. I will work hard to bring much-needed change for economic development, job growth, infrastructure, homelessness, and beautification of our city. These are just a few of the issues I'm focused on. I'm here to fight for Springfield and to bring changes to benefit every resident. I ask for your vote as Mayor of Springfield. Please vote Misty Busher.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute. It happens every year. A lot of people get thrown off airplanes for wearing what's considered inappropriate attire. But what constitutes unacceptable clothing? There's no standard definition or rule at any airline. It's up to the gate or flight crew. Wearing hot pants at one airline might be accepted. On another flight, it might get you thrown off. The problem is that airline dress codes are almost impossible to define and almost impossible to enforce fairly. Still, if a gate agent or flight attendant thinks you're inappropriately dressed, you won't win the fight. You'll miss the flight. The only way to approach this is before you leave for the airport, have a family member or friend look at what you're wearing. And if the response is, "What were you thinking?" wear something else before trying to board the flight. For more information, visit petergreenberg.com. I'm Peter Greenberg, and this is today's Eye on Travel Minute.
The biggest names in politics.
Whoa, that's news. Are we at a tipping point?
Face the questions you want answered.
Can you walk the American people through what happens next? Are you saying you did not ever hear of such a deal?
Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Yesterday, we talked about Governor Ron DeSantis visiting from Florida to talk with police groups up in Elmhurst, and that happened on Monday, on Washington's birthday. And we fully anticipated that Governor J.B. Pritzker would respond, and we got that response yesterday. But let's go ahead and kind of revisit some of what the Florida governor had to say. Good morning. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop. You can always chime in at Bishop on Air via Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. A lot of people watching on YouTube with comments rolling there. But you can also call in live and local at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here, 217-629-7970, where we like to take your calls live and local. So anytime you hear something you want to sound off on, you can do so. But let's go ahead and get into it. Just a little bit of a review of what Florida Governor Ron DeSantis had to say when he visited with police in Elmhurst, Illinois. And in particular, he talked about some of the differences between Illinois and Florida. But he also discussed his efforts in education and police recruitment to the state of Florida.
We're thankful to be able to be here to deliver a very important message, a message about the importance of safe communities, the rule of law, and by standing by the people that wear the uniform and put themselves at risk to protect us. I'm very proud of what we've been able to do in Florida. I have a laundry list of things that I can brag about. We're the fastest growing state in all of the United States. We are number one for net in-migration every year since I've been governor. Illinois, of course, is having a lot of out-migration. We're number one in economic freedom. We're number one in new business formations. Of course, we're number one in tourism. We're number one in GDP growth amongst all large states. Number one in education freedom. Number one for parental involvement in education. We have one of the lowest per capita tax burdens of any state in the country. And of course, no state income tax. Wouldn't you like to have that here in Illinois? We have one of the lowest debt per capita burdens anywhere in the country, and we currently enjoy a record budget surplus. So you see what we've been able to do, unemployment rates a point and a half lower than the national average. I'm sure it's much lower than here in Illinois. And look, I don't beg people to move to Florida. I don't beg businesses, but I do ask for people in law enforcement who are qualified. Just know we have this recruitment program in place. If you come and you're qualified from another state and join any of our agencies, city, county, state, sworn law enforcement, you get a $5,000 signing bonus immediately right off the top. And so what we said for police officers is if you are on active duty, it doesn't matter the household income, you all, 100% of you qualify for our Family Empowerment Scholarship. So every police officer in Florida has the ability to use one of these scholarships and send their child to the school of their choice if they so want to do it. And I don't think there's any other state that does that. You know, in Florida, We have the most affordable higher education public system in the country. Tuition for in-state's about $6,200 on average. University of Florida is now in the U.S. News ranked number 5 for public universities, behind Berkeley, UCLA, Ann Arbor, and University of Virginia. Grandparents who are Florida resident can qualify for in-state tuition for their grandchildren. So any of you, if you have parents down there and they're residents and then your kids want to go in-state, you can go. And trust me, as a parent, would you rather pay $6,200 for tuition or whatever the heck they're charging everybody else? The other thing that you see with this wokeification of law enforcement is passing ludicrous laws like eliminating cash bail. You guys just did that. And so it's been a total failure. Why you guys would be doing it here after seeing how disastrous it's been is just beyond me. But I can tell you this, when I talk to people that come to Florida, yes, some of the main things that you think of, but they are really, really upset about what's gone on with the law enforcement policies, not standing up for law and order.
So again, that's Governor Ron DeSantis at a stop in Elmhurst, just some of his 24-minute speech. And Governor J.B. Pritzker being asked about it yesterday. We'll get to that response next here on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. You can always follow along, bishoponair@gmail.com, or Twitter, Bishop on Air, or Facebook or YouTube, Bishop on Air. Just search out everywhere Bishop on Air, and we can connect that way. Got to take a break. 6:48. Your forecast. We're looking at a high of around 63 today with the possibility of showers and thunderstorms. Then tonight, the low of 45 with a 20% chance of showers. Thursday, sunny with a high around 39 by the time it's all said and done. The low down to 20 Thursday nights with mostly clear skies, and then sunshine Friday to wrap up the week. 35 the high. Saturday, mostly sunny, the high of 47. And then Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 56. Right now at 6:49, it's about 44 degrees on WMAY.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
3120 Montvale Drive, Springfield.
Where do you go when you want to get in shape?
The Body Quest store, the Body Quest store.
High quality exercise equipment for your home.
The Body Quest store, the Body Quest store.
The quest for the healthier you begins at
The Body Quest store, the Body Quest store.
3120 Montvale Drive.
The Body Quest store, the Body Quest store.
787-9930.
The Body Quest store, the Body Quest store.
The quest for the healthier you begins at the Body Quest store. 3120 Montvale Drive, Springfield.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Hi there. I'm here to tell you a little about this new program called Save to Help Illinois.
Maybe you know somebody who's being bullied.
or worse, thinking about hurting themselves or others. If you don't feel safe telling an adult about the things that are happening around you, check out Safe to Help.
Safe to Help is not about snitching or getting someone in trouble. It's about helping one another out.
You can call, you can text.
You can download the free mobile app, and it's all over social media.
So what do you say? Let's give it a try.
Brought to you by IEMA.
Hi, it's Rob from Car Guys Auto Works. Yesterday it was 20 degrees out when I left for work. Frost and snow have already happened. Add to that, inflation is getting worse. We can help. If your car needs service or repair, give us a call. Also, we are looking for a quality technician. The bays are full and we need more help. Call me, Rob, at 217-529-5670. Our address is 3030 Stanton in Springfield. We've been in business for more than 25 years. As always, if you have an issue, let me know. I can't fix it if I don't know about it.
Hello, everybody. It's Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving, and we want to thank you for voting us #1 Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Now, is that driveway of yours a sloppy, muddy mess? Is your driveway becoming a nuisance? Are you getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe your driveway is soft and it's unfunctional. Well, call the day and get on the schedule to get your driveway back to looking good, and you'll feel great about it. ILPaving.com. ILPaving.com.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Listen on demand at WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
So we heard Florida Governor Ron DeSantis comparing Illinois to Florida and also talking about what he called the wokeification of public safety. He also discussed public schools, and Governor J.B. Pritzker was asked about that at an unrelated stop yesterday as the governor tours to talk about increased education spending. And here is Governor J.B. Pritzker providing some of that response to some of what the governor said about education and then about incentives for law enforcement.
You know, what he's done in Florida is to try to have the government intervene to a large degree in the quality of the education or the type of education that people are getting, and that will lower it. I think teachers are worthy of investing in, and by the way, we shouldn't be banning books from our libraries. Teachers shouldn't be forced to, toss books away or put them in a drawer. And the truth is that we actually have a much better education system in Illinois than they have in Florida. We're ranked higher than they are. U.S. News and World Report ranks K-12 education in Illinois 6th in the country and number 1 among the largest states in the country. So he's got nothing to brag about when it comes to education. So he moves on and tries to use this word woke to describe everything. He doesn't even know what the word means, and he has no definition of it. It's just anything he doesn't like is wokeism. And all I can tell you is that I don't know what that means. And frankly, what I can say about Illinois is that we're a state that cares about equity. We're a state that cares about our families. We're making the investments that are required so that our youngest children will do better and better. And I'm really excited about the direction of our state, as opposed to a state where they don't make the investments that are necessary to lift up their education system or their healthcare system. I absolutely believe that police officers are first-line first responders. Law enforcement generally don't get paid enough, just like teachers. Honestly, these are the most important people in our society, right? Who help us keep, our streets safe, and who help us educate for the future kids who will do better and better as a result of investments that we'll make. But we've got to make sure we're attracting people into these professions with the proper pay scale and benefits. So I'm absolutely in favor of it, and the state has been engaged in that. I just want to point out that the lieutenant governor runs a program called the R3 program, and it's dollars that have come from the legalization of cannabis in the state, which are many, have gone into the R3 program, at which they are making grants to organizations, including ones that support local police. And then add to that many of the things that we've invested in over the last couple of years have been to the benefit of our police departments across the state of Illinois. So we're going to continue to do what's right for law enforcement. I know there are people who want to make a false argument that there's not a lot of support for law enforcement. I'm not somebody who has said defund police. I'm somebody who says fund police. We need to hire more police. I think we need to make sure that we have great police on the street. People who aren't doing it right shouldn't be in the profession, that's for sure, and they should be held accountable. But the vast majority of people who enter law enforcement in the state of Illinois are great people that deserve the support of our community.
So, again, Governor J.B. Pritzker responding to Governor Ron DeSantis in his visits. Those two have not made anything official about seeking higher office in 2024, but it's widely speculated that the two could be potential presidential contenders. And it's interesting to see the two paired up quite a bit in recent national and now state reporting. So we'll watch that closely, and it's interesting to hear somebody from outside of Illinois look at Illinois and see the various policies that are put into place, like the no cash bail, which, by the way, we did get an update yesterday from the Illinois Supreme Court. They will be hearing the no cash bail arguments March 14th. It's after a Kankakee County judge held the law unconstitutional, and the state Supreme Court said, we got to put a hold on this until it's all dealt with. March 14th, they'll hear it in the Illinois
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's news and talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Nguyen. States in the northern plains are shutting down for the most part ahead of a major winter storm. It could dump up to 2 feet of snow in some areas, including the region around Minneapolis, St. Paul. A lot of schools in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas are closed today, but ABC's Jacqueline Lee says it's not just those states feeling it.
The storm is bringing some of the coldest air of the season to California. Ahead of the temperature drop, strong winds hitting the Bay Area, damaging homes and knocking down power lines. Meanwhile, in Texas, several crashes in the Panhandle during a so-called brownout, when the wind kicks up dust, reducing visibility to near zero. And on the East Coast, a rare event for February, a possible tornado causing extensive damage in southern New Jersey.
President Biden will today meet with the Eastern Flank NATO countries, assuring them that the U.S. is on high alert for any threats spurred by Russia amid the invasion of Ukraine. We now know that Russia tried to fire off an intercontinental ballistic missile on the same day that the president toured Ukraine. ABC's Louis Martinez says the timing seems suspect, but in reality, there's more to it.
The reality is that it takes a lot of effort to put together some of these launches with ICBMs. They're planned far in advance. And usually what happens is that both the United States and Russia, when they conduct them, they give advance warning to the other country.
40,000 hours of never-before-seen surveillance video of the January 6th attack now in the hands of Fox News host Tucker Carlson, who's said to be looking over it.
It's unclear where Carlson's team was reviewing the footage or who they got it from. But according to multiple reports, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy granted Tucker's team access to the video. McCarthy's office did not respond to an ABC News request for comment. Carlson has repeatedly spread conspiracy theories about January 6th. Carlson has already claimed that some of the new footage appears to show contradictions.
ABC's Andrew Dimbert in Washington. This is ABC News.
I'm Martin Hoke, the inventor of Navage Nasal Care, and I love Navage. I've told you about how your nose is the body's air filter, that Navage's powered suction will help flush out allergens, viruses, mucus, and germs, and that Navage will help you breathe better. But what do other people say about Navage? Like Tara, quote, "My doctor wanted me to do saline rinses for my allergies, but I've never been able to successfully use a neti pot. Navage uses suction power, so it's foolproof. There are nights when I'll have particularly bothersome allergies. I'll bust it out, and the results are immediate. It's such a relief. It's become a lifesaver." Unquote. She's one of over 100,000 online reviews praising Navage, the all-natural solution trusted by over 3 million people to help you breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier without drugs. Navage is available at Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, Target, Rite Aid, and online. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E, clean nose, healthy life.
Well, it was a 4-hour meeting last night. 4 hours, like 8 minutes or something? Oh, boy. Yeah, first thing I did when I rolled out of bed is I saw that, and I'm like, okay, get on the elliptical, get on the treadmill, put it on double speed. Hopefully I can get it all in before I have to leave. And even while I was driving to the radio station, sitting there listening to the council meeting from last night on double speed. And, well, I think I took it all in. We'll get you the highlights. Things were heated last night. Several alder people raising their voices over each other. A bunch of different amendments brought up. Some didn't make it. And an alderman who has not approved a budget in his entire tenure casting a yes vote last night. So we'll get to that as well. So stay tuned. Some pretty interesting stuff happening. And we'll bring it all to you with the Council Roundup coming up next here on WMAY, brought to you by Head West Subs. But right now, let's get a check of headlines.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's news and talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story is Springfield man is dead after a crash in Macon County yesterday. The Macon County coroner says 40-year-old Benjamin Black died when his SUV ran off Interstate 72 as he was traveling westbound near Harristown. The SUV hit an embankment, became airborne, and then struck the overpass. Black was pronounced dead at the scene around 2:45 a.m. yesterday. The coroner says he died of multiple injuries to his head, neck, and torso. It's not known what caused Black's vehicle to go off the road. The University of Illinois Springfield cricket team has advanced to the National College Cricket Association National Tournament March 16th in Houston. Cricket bears some similarities to baseball, but it's played with teams of 11 on an oval-shaped field. The UIS Cricket Club was formed in 2015, but sat dormant for several years until 2 students revived it in 2021. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by CBD Botanicals. Visit CBD Botanicals in Springfield and Edwardsville. Online at CBDBotanicals.com.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Get the last roof you'll ever need. Steel Roofing offers the best wind resistance, superior hail resistance, and can be ordered cut to your length. It installs fast and is the choice of more and more homeowners in the Midwest. Choose from 25 beautiful colors in-store or online and get 11% off. Good through February 26th. Savings are mail and rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Less frustration, more vacation. Book a nonstop flight from Springfield's Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport, SPI, to Fort Myers, Punta Gorda at Allegiant.com and experience the sun, fun, and relaxation of Southwest Florida. Find low fares and save big by bundling at Allegiant.com. Fly from SPI and spend more time enjoying vacation. Book your flight from SPI at Allegiant.com. Fly local. Fly SPI. Take the easy way out.
Take the easy way out.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher, and I'm running for Springfield Mayor. My goal is to bring new leadership for a better Springfield, and that means rolling up my sleeves and hitting the ground running to make sure things get accomplished. I will work hard to bring much-needed change for economic development, job growth, infrastructure, homelessness, and beautification of our city. These are just a few of the issues I'm focused on. I'm here to fight for Springfield and to bring changes to benefit every resident. I ask for your vote as Mayor of Springfield. Please vote Misty Busher.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
The shortest distance between you and a Head West sub is now through the new in-store kiosks.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Everywhere you are with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or at WMAY WMAY.com. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Showers and thunderstorms continuing throughout the day. High near 63. Clearing skies tonight with a low of 45 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and windy with temperatures falling throughout the day. 39 degrees by 5 p.m., 20 degrees tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 35, low around 28. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Oh, it's the council roundup. What time is it? Tell me what time it is. All right.
Now it's time. Greg Bishop and the Council Roundup.
And the Council Roundup brought to you each and every Wednesday by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Their downtown location open for lunch. Open for lunch on Saturdays as well. And don't forget about delivery. Head West Subs. All right, it was a 4-hour meeting last night, and of course, mainly they were talking about the city's annual spending plan and how your tax dollars are going to be spent, and there were tons of different amendments that ultimately were brought up. Some advanced, some did not, sparked a whole bunch of debates, so we'll get to a lot of that. But first, adding to last night was zoning, so they had to deal with some zoning issues. Also, adding to last night, they had to hear from the Inspector General of the Springfield City Council, and that is Judge Roger Holmes, who was, there to talk about ultimately a complaint that was made to Springfield alder people talking about closed-door meetings. So let's go ahead and head on over to this, where you've got the Inspector General discussing what ultimately he had to delve into with regards to a executive session meeting that we've talked quite a bit about, and that alder people approved to release the minute meeting, the meeting, the recording. So we'll hear that, and I'll get our hands on that at some point, and we'll hear that this week, I imagine. But here's Judge Holmes.
It's quite clear what the executive session was about,
and the only matters left to doubt after all of the disclosures had been made were whether or not there was a consensus to take a particular action.
And we had these conversations back and forth about the discussion, and it was concerning debt and whether or not the city would forgive the debt of the Wyndham City Center when they were owing, $1.5 million or something to that effect. But ultimately, the mayor going forward with forgiving around $250,000 of that in various fees. So more from Judge Holmes yesterday, who's the Inspector General for the city of Springfield.
Common sense should prohibit such discussions. This lack of guidance clouds the issue. I searched again within the four corners of the city code for the consequences of aldermen or executive branch elected officials violating any provisions of the city code and found but one scant reference at section 3101 titled Rules Expulsion. This section reads, "The city council shall determine its own rules of proceeding and punish its members for disorderly conduct. With the concurrence of 2/3 of the aldermen elected, it may expel an alderman, but not a second time for the same offense." That's verbatim from your city code. Again, this section is worded in a confusing manner. It would seem that expulsion would be just for a single meeting based upon the language, then an alderman may not be expelled a second time for the same offense. The section is also silent as to when the expulsion would occur, but again, common sense would dictate that if an alderman was disorderly during a meeting, the remaining aldermen could vote on expulsion from that meeting. There is nothing to state that the expulsion could occur at a subsequent meeting, and such late punishment would not have the effect of calming and returning a council meeting to normalcy by the immediate expulsion of the disorderly alderman.
So again, some more than you probably wanted to know about measures to hold alder people accountable. Are there ways to expel them? Are those only for one meeting, or is that a more permanent solution? So how do you go about this? Judge Holmes, yesterday, he's the Inspector General for the city of Springfield, talks about the ambiguity that's there.
There is little that the Inspector General can do to resolve this situation. The participants who have disclosed bits and pieces of the meeting have made this a political election year dispute. By the council releasing the recordings of the executive session, this dispute can be decided in the most democratic fashion, which is by allowing the public to form its own opinions and respond at the ballot box, as all political decisions are ultimately decided.
So we will hear that. They did approve releasing that. We'll get our hands on those tapes eventually. But what about recommendations from the Inspector General?
Review the city code to add more definition to the description of executive session in section 31.24 to specify the consequences of breaching the confidential nature of the executive session, and by revising section 31.03 to bring clarity as to whether or not the expulsion process contemplates removal from a single meeting or a more permanent action. There's nothing in the city code which deals in any way with an impeachment or permanent removal of a city council member and what level of violation of rules is necessary to support an action.
So provide some clarity to the ordinances. If Springfield alder people are going to take this serious in the debates that have had the past 3 weeks or so, then what kinds of steps they could take is, well, they could provide more clarity on how to hold alder people accountable if they are indeed found to have violated some kind of public trust of sorts. So interesting to hear that review, but the Inspector General making an announcement last night in front of the Springfield City Council.
This, ladies and gentlemen, will be my last report to you. I am saying a word I have difficulty in saying in my life, and that is I'm going to retire as Inspector General. I have asked the mayor not to reappoint me March 1st, as would normally be expected to occur. This has been an incredible honor for me to serve as the first Inspector General for the city of Springfield. Sometimes we were charting new ground, sometimes we were learning along the way, but one thing is clear to me. This position is important to open government. It's an important voice for people to inquire into the actions of their government, and it's one that I encourage that you continue long into the future.
So, yeah, I think it's obviously something that we've watched, you and I, as we've been doing the council roundup for, 15 years or something, it seems like. But regardless, been doing this for a long time, watching that develop under, I believe it was former Alderman Corey Jobe bringing about the idea of an inspector general for the city of Springfield. And then all of the different cases we've heard. So interesting to hear the announcements that Judge Holmes is stepping down from that post. A couple of things before we take a break and then really get into the heated debate about the budget. Another ordinance that was up for consideration was $600,000 in TIF money for Horace Mann to deal with what they see as a dilapidated property. We start off with a little bit of an announcement from Alderwoman Kristen DeCenso at last night's Springfield City Council meeting.
And then we got a letter from Landmarks Illinois today stating just that this does not meet the minimum TIF requirement. I'm not against this project. I just have concerns about this project. So whether we need clarification, whether we need to hold it till we get more clarification, whatever we need to do is what we should do.
And they had a representative there from Horace Mann to further elaborate on their thoughts of this letter that was received by city alder people from a historic sites commission.
The history of this building tells you that no prudent and feasible alternative exists. As I mentioned, in the late 1980s, it was converted into a state office building. That was the last time that this building has received a substantial investment. So we're going on 40 years.
And that representative from Horace Mann continues to justify getting $600,000 in TIF money.
Since this is not within the historic district, and even if it was not a contributing structure, and even if it was, no prudent and feasible alternative exists, we ask that you approve this redevelopment agreement so that this building can be demolished and the site can be reused.
And then Alderman Joe McMiniman, he had a proposal to alleviate some of the concerns that there were brought up about spending this $600,000 on the Horace Mann building, and Alderman McMiniman making this proposal at last night's city council meeting.
I'd just like to ask the Horace Mann attorney and our city attorney to consider a subrogation clause whereby if we get sued, Horace Mann will cover our costs. And I hope that's a reasonable request since, you've really put on a persuasive case tonight that you have no doubts that we would prevail.
Well, Horace Mann said they've never seen that type of thing happen in any development agreement. They didn't agree to that. But regardless, city alder people went ahead and approved that ordinance as is. All right, a ton more coming up with the Council Roundup brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. Their downtown location open for lunch. Head West Subs. All right, stay tuned. We'll get into some heated conversation about the budget. All right, coming up next now at 7:20 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
It is the final days of February, which means you've got limited time to get in and make a deal of the month. And Mike Quimby with Green Hyundai talking about their ginormous indoor shopping extravaganza events where you can make those deals happen, Mike.
That's right, Greg. Hey, one more week left in February, no question about it. And then, of course, yesterday I was at the construction site with the general manager from Hyundai Central Region, who came down here to visit us and have lunch with us. And we've got to get some room by selling these cars that are indoors out at the old Shop and Save. So these cars got to go. We got a full court press put on this week to sell every car that we possibly can out there and to prepare to make room at the all-new Hyundai store on the Stanford overpass. It's definitely a beautiful facility, but we've got to go in lean, and because Hyundai's going to really stock us up once we move in there. Now, we've got plenty of vehicles. We've got all kinds of new Hyundais out there. We've got $6.5 million worth of cars indoors at the old Shop and Save. It's a great way to shop for a car, especially on a day like today. So get up, get out, come out and see us, take a test drive, get a $25 free gift card for Harvest Market. We'll be giving those away this week till they're gone. Then, of course, guys, financing available right there. We are exclusively the only place with 0% on a pre-owned car. This is over when it's over. So get up, get out, come out and see us. The ginormous auto clearance event going on indoors out at the old Shop and Save on the corner of Wabash and Chatham Road. Greg, it's the Drive and Save.
Mike Quimby, Green Hyundai, have a great day.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Hey, this is Jim over at CBD Botanicals. So, this time of year, we often experience this thing called SAD, or seasonal affective disorder. And there's something in the shop that really works well for that. CBG is kind of like a turbocharge to the CBD that we're already using. It helps accentuate the effects that it already has. It also helps me in the morning maybe just open up my chest a little bit so I can get that breath, that good deep breath to help me get going and get that engine started. But then on the weekends, I also use something that has a little bit of something from the other side of the aisle that we like to talk about. And I use a sativa strain of this, which helps kind of perk me up so that I'm ready and raring during the weekend and still feeling incredibly relaxed as well. So come on by to the shop, come check out these items, and it's CBD and CBG and sometimes a little something else from the other side of the aisle with a little sativa in it. And every purchase of $100 or more, you get a free gift while supplies last. CBD Botanicals at 2538 South Cokie Mill Road at the corner of Cokie Mill and Isles, next to Walgreens in the Fresenius building.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
Head on over to WMAY.com/poll and take today's daily poll, where the question is, should the U.S. continue to provide economic and military assistance to Ukraine as the Russian invasion enters a second year? Yes or no? Looks like most of you saying no this morning. Now the split is about 74 to 25%. So go vote at WMAY.com. You can also find out at WMAY.com/fly how you can win a $75 rebate with Fly SPI. All you got to do is answer a trivia question. If you get it right, you'll be entered to win, and I announce the winner tomorrow at 7:50. So be tuned in and find out how you can win a $75 rebate out of Fly SPI. All right, WMAY.com is where it's all happening.
Take Springfield's morning news with Greg Bishop everywhere with the free WMAY mobile app. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's news and talk.
All right, it's time for the Council Roundup to continue. And the Council Roundup brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Their downtown location open for lunch. Let's now get to open comments for the Springfield City Council, which was full last night. It was jam-packed. A lot of Springfield police officers in the audience in their uniform as they were preparing to debate and pass a budget. But one item that was up for consideration in a couple of different fronts was financing for the Pillsbury Mills project. And we've heard about that. Chris Richmond with Moving Pillsbury Forward, a nonprofit. He was there to talk about how they could definitely be still in use of assistance from city dollars to help fund their operations, because they're getting some federal dollars, and the nonprofit still needs some more funding to make all of that happen.
But I would like to see some sort of funds within the FY24 budget so that we can work with demo contractors and get the momentum of the project continued further along.
So Richmond there during public comments to hear from alder people, but Springfield Alderman Sean Gregory got a bit heated, essentially seeming to indicate that he was not approached about this particular issue. Here's Alderman Sean Gregory.
Even give us the common decency to call us and respect us as men. I'm tired of it, and we can smack our lips because I'm just getting started. That's disrespectful. Come on, man. I've been there since the beginning. I remember when nobody wanted to do it. Huh? So now we playing politics. I'm talking, I got the floor. And you go over to our West Side aldermen, my colleagues, and I have to reach out to them.
So Gregory seeming to be a little put off by what he perceived as not being included in talks to get more funding for the Moving Pillsbury project. Also, Alderman Williams Jr. as well, sharing some frustrations. You've got others that were jumping into the conversation, including Alderman Donnellan, Alderman McMiniman, and other alder people from across the spectrum. Chris Richmond responding to at least Alderman Gregory's concerns.
I understand. I appreciate that. And we did have communications in November, just like we did with the mayor's office. And I hadn't had those direct communications with many of the other aldermen, so I made sure those communications took place during the month of February after the budget books had come out. And it was unclear where the funding might be. So
Richmond sharing some of his response there, but Alderman Hanauer providing his reaction to the frustrations that some aldermen feel versus others when it comes to how they approach distributing dollars.
I don't look at east side, west side, north side, south side. I'm talking, Sean.
How would you feel if I do it to you?
You want to give my ward money? I'll take it.
You. I don't do that to y'all. Y'all disrespect us all the time.
That's not about disrespect, Sean.
Now,
Alderman, it's not about disrespect.
I can get loud too. Y'all like that.
Alderman Hanauer has the floor.
Respect us as men.
So obviously some pretty heated passions there when dealing with the back and forth of who exactly is going to be bringing ordinances forward, who's included in these conversations. Pretty passionate dust up there.
I don't look at east side, west side, north side, south side. I'm talking, Sean.
How would you feel if I do it to you?
You want to give my ward money? I'll take it.
You. I don't do that to y'all. Y'all disrespect us all the time.
That's not about disrespect, Sean.
Now,
it's not about disrespect.
I can get loud too.
Alderman Hanauer has the floor.
Respect us as men.
More from Alderman Hanauer.
It's not about disrespect. If you want to put some money over my ward, thank you. I appreciate it. But it's not about disrespect.
So, not the last outburst we're going to hear within the Springfield City Council, that's for sure. So stay tuned. Much more coming up here with the Council Roundup brought to you by Head West Subs, including Springfield Police there in attendance and Chief Scarlett sounding off on some issues and even a little bit of talk about increased funding for police. So stay tuned. That's just some of what we've got left from that last night 4-hour meeting. It is the Springfield City Council Roundup. Now, 7:33. And a check of headlines.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the 3 big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story. States in the northern plains are bracing for a winter storm that could bring up to 2 feet of snow, strong winds, and dangerously cold temperatures. Many schools throughout the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin were canceled today ahead of the storm. The Minnesota legislature closed until Monday. Emergency management leaders warned people to stay off the roads or face potential whiteout conditions due to the snow and fierce winds. One-time advisor to former President Donald Trump, Kellyanne Conway, will be the featured speaker at the Sangamon County Republican Party's annual Lincoln Day dinner on May 3rd at the BOS Center. Conway was Trump's 2016 campaign manager and then served as senior counselor to the president in the Trump White House. Tickets begin at $125 per person for the dinner. A photo opportunity is also available for $50. You can learn more at sangamonrepublicans.com. The University of Illinois Springfield cricket team has advanced to the National College Cricket Association National Tournament March 16th in Houston. Cricket bears some similarities to baseball, but is played with teams of 11 on an oval-shaped field, utilizing a flatter, wider bat than baseball. The UIS Cricket Club was formed in 2015 but sat dormant for several years until 2 students revived it in 2021. The team finished second in last fall's Midwest Regionals, earning its spot at the Nationals. Springfield aldermen have rejected a last-minute request to avoid the use of city dollars to demolish 2 downtown buildings. Horace Mann will receive $600,000 in downtown TIF funding to cover a portion of the cost to tear down 2 structures on East Washington adjacent to property the insurance company has developed. The Downtown Springfield Heritage Foundation sought to block the demolition due to the building's historical value, while Horace Mann argued that they were too deteriorated to save. Aldermen voted 7-2 to approve the funding. The Inspector General for the City of Springfield says there's no mechanism to punish an alderman for talking about city council discussions that took place in executive session. Inspector General Roger Holmes says he was asked by several aldermen to investigate comments made in the press and during council meetings characterizing the nature of discussions in a closed-door meeting in 2021, centering on the possibility of debt forgiveness for the Wyndham City Center. Holmes says city ordinance is silent on what to do if an alderman breaches the privacy of a closed session and recommended that the city council should adopt some more clear-cut rules to govern those situations. It was the final report from Holmes as Inspector General as he announced that he is retiring from the position effective next week. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
News sponsored by 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery. Now open next door to Obed and Isaac's in downtown Springfield.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive thrive working with Midwest Family? Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher, and I'm running for Springfield Mayor. My goal is to bring new leadership for a better Springfield, and that means rolling up my sleeves and hitting the ground running to make sure things get accomplished. I will work hard to bring much-needed change for economic development, job growth, infrastructure, homelessness, and beautification of our city. These are just a few of the issues I'm focused on. I'm here to fight for Springfield and to bring changes to benefit every resident. I ask for your vote as Mayor of Springfield. Please vote Misty Busher.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
Do-it-yourself ordering kiosks now inside Head West mean getting your sub faster.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Hi, it's Taylor Stevens from Synergy Home Care. Catch our business spotlight this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Everywhere you are, everywhere you live, with TuneIn Radio, the WMAY app, or listen at home with your Amazon smart speaker. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Showers and thunderstorms continuing throughout the day. High near 63. Clearing skies tonight with a low of 45 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and windy with temperatures falling throughout the day. 39 degrees by 5 p.m., 20 degrees tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 35, low around 28. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
You can jumpstart your car with a device you can hold in your hand. I'm Laurie from Rex Battery, and if you find yourself with a dead battery, the NOCO Genius Boost is all you need. You don't have to wait for a friend to show up, call a tow truck, or hope a stranger has jumper cables. If you have the NOCO Genius Boost, you have the charge you need to get your car going again. One charge can get you as many as 20 jumps. Rex Battery always carries the latest technology, and these small devices pack big power, enough oomph to start your cars, trucks, and even boats. They even have USB ports so you can get your phone powered up if you're stranded. The NOCO Genius Boost. Pick up one today at Rex Battery, Clear Lake, just west of Dirksen.
Rex with a double X battery. Generations of power.
Springfield has so many must-see destinations when you come to visit, such as the Abraham Lincoln Presidential Museum, Bicentennial Plaza, and don't forget 7th Street Cidery. Yes, 7th Street Cidery, Central Illinois' first cidery, is quickly becoming a destination for their great selection of locally sourced ciders, meads, and perries in a warm, rustic atmosphere. Located at 503 South 7th Street next to Obed and Isaac's and across from Lincoln's home, near great shopping and history in the heart of downtown Springfield. 7th Street Cidery.
If you love barbecue and tasty butts drive you nuts, wiggle on over to Lil Willie's Smokehouse. Fresh smoked barbecue that you're gonna love. What's your pleasure? Brisket, pork, chicken? Lil Willie's got it. And all of the classic sides, like homemade mac and cheese and cornbread. Follow your nose to the smoke at Lil Willie's Smokehouse. Ask about Willie's Rewards, where you get points for eating barbecue. Lil Willie's Smokehouse at the corner of South Grand and MacArthur. Wiggle Central.
For more information, visit littlewilliesbbq.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Oh, we got so much more to get to from a 4-hour meeting last night, and I promise we'll do what we can to get to it all in the short amount of time we've got together. It is the Council Roundup brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to head west. During the public debates portion of the budget discussions, they had the police chief there, Chief Scarlett, and he addressed some of the issues that have happened recently when it comes to policing in Illinois and Springfield and funding and making sure that law enforcement are respected and appreciated. Here's Chief Scarlett.
I care about 117,000 citizens that make up the city of Springfield that encompass Ward 1 all the way to Ward 10. We don't care where people live. We respond to calls for service on a daily basis. That's our job. That's what we signed up to do, and we care about people. You know, it was a little less than a year ago when I personally asked the SPD officers to come show support and solidarity regarding a tragic incident that happened within our ranks. And tonight, as you can see, the council chambers are once again packed. And this time, I come in support of them. As the leader of this organization, I stood here a few weeks ago and discussed how it's impossible to put a price on the priceless noble calling of law enforcement. A noble calling that persevered through the challenges of COVID-19, persevered through the nationwide George Floyd events, and most recently, the tragic incident in our community involving EMS. Additionally, we all discuss what it means to put on body armor at the beginning of each shift and kiss your family goodbye, not knowing what dangers lurk around the corner. And you all know, but I'm going to repeat it, it was just a few nights ago that danger became a reality for one of our officers who was nearly struck by gunfire. And only by the grace of God was that officer not struck. And he's here present tonight. And it was the use of tactical training, patience, and professionalism that allowed this potential tragedy to turn into yet another peaceful resolution by the Springfield Police Department team, and I'm extremely proud of each one of them for that.
And Scarlett continued to discuss various issues that law enforcement face when it comes to safety and security. And again, the city council chambers packed with Springfield police there to show solidarity. Alderman Gregory sounding off to police last night.
I being from where you are from, knowing how important it is to have a quality and significant quality of responsible understanding, knowledge, and of policing. The type of officer who can understand that a fist fight between mutual combatants may not warrant an arrest opposed to getting someone who beats and arrests both of them. That's the difference in pay. Get an officer who understands emotional moments and accepts apologies instead of lashing out is a quality officer.
And Gregory continues.
Support the officers. We support good officers. You know, I've had a great relationship working with Chief Winslow and this chief. We support y'all. Don't let nobody tell y'all that we don't. We just may disagree with how we go about it. That's it, and that's all. And that go for every employee in this city.
Then they had a police union official, I believe, address Alderman Gregory and bring up some previous communications.
Alderman Gregory, 18 months ago on September 14th, 2021, you sent an email to the police union when we asked you if we could meet and discuss these issues. And I'm quoting, "Thanks for reaching out. After careful consideration, I will decline to meet with any member of the PBPA with any police issues, concerns, or topics at this time."
I said PBAPA. The rest of them can come meet with me as individuals any time they want. I never meet with y'all and y'all trying to put me under arrest for something I just didn't do. You heard when one of your field reps, what your field rep said, he didn't agree. Your field officer said he didn't agree. He a brother. He didn't agree with what y'all was trying to do to me. So, whatever.
But
So obviously, getting a little bit away from the budget, but some emotions definitely on display last night at the Springfield City Council meeting. But talking about the budget, talking about pay, one of the measures that was brought forward was, I think, like $2 million more for a line item within the police funding. And here's a bit about that from Alderman Hanauer.
Give you guys a raise. Next year, budget's in the toilet. Guess what happens? Who's the new cops out here? Raise your hands.
Sorry.
Guess what? You might be gone.
Or not. Or not.
It's a good possibility, Chuck.
Speculation.
Well, then okay, then you have to vote for tax increase.
Well, you know what? No, we don't. We cut the fat, Ralph, before we do anything. Yeah, there is. You know there is.
Anyway, I'm just telling you, and that's where I'm coming from.
And Alderman Hanauer and Alderman Redpath continue back and forth.
And it's not just about the PBPA. It's about all the members of the Springfield Police Department, not just you guys, but these guys. They don't get a raise either. And the bottom line is, if we don't make this adjustment, we're never going to catch up to the departments around the state.
And Redpath continues.
The fact that the numbers of recruits that we get, the numbers used to be hundreds that applied for the test. It's not that way anymore. It's alarming. And we've discussed those things in this room. We've discussed how important it is to increase the salaries, increase the incentives, increase any outside-the-box ideas so that we can keep our officers here. We don't want to see our officers leaving after 3 years or even leaving early, so to speak. And I got to.
So obviously the discussion continues on how to best recruit officers. You had Alderman Redpath continue to show his support, but then the mayor discusses a variety of things as well, and even brings up the police chief to discuss how many police officers they actually have on hand.
254.
254. I asked him, I said I thought it was 249. He said, yes, we added some positions and moved that direction. But at one time we had 284, so you can't say this doesn't impact things. It does, because we don't know what tomorrow brings.
One of the things that Alderman Hanauer was saying was, if we just throw more money at it, we don't know what's going to be, the future, what it's going to hold. So some of the ongoing conversations about funding for police under the umbrella of continued negotiations for a future police contract ongoing, and Mayor Langfelder highlighting some of the issues that are being discussed.
4% for 3 years, each year 4%, and then residency that mirrors the fire department. But that would have to, you have the mediation that goes on, and that plays out its process. But that's
kind of where they're at. And the ongoing debates about how much to spend, where to spend it, continued, but only after there was a little bit of a break. Here's the clerk.
Mayor, before you take a break, would it be appropriate now, when the ladies and gentlemen from the police force are here, to take a moment of silence for Ward 5 Alderman Bob Vose, an icon in Springfield that we lost?
We'll take that moment of silence here. And that moment of silence in recognition of Bob Vose, who lost his life, 94 years old, leaving behind quite the legacy. But right after that, they took a 5-minute break. But before that, Alderman Redpath making a joke.
And thank you for coming. But please stay if you'd like to stay.
Mayor, if I could just say, if we just would have charged to get in the meeting, we would have balanced the budget.
That's probably true. But it would have been public dollars going into public dollars. So, all right. Next up, there was a lot of back and forth. You had Alderman Williams with a proposed amendment. Again, a lot of amendments proposed. Some didn't make it. Some advanced. Alderman Williams talking about wanting a new code enforcement officer.
We just have to do what cities have to do and cut back and not worry about a ticket. Is all I'm saying in my ward. Now, Ward 8 is kind of, they got money.
Hey, come on.
And they don't have these kind of situations.
No, it's not funny,
but so when you think about an alley you see the overgrowth, the first thing I'm thinking is, who would let it get this bad? But when you dig a little deeper, you find these kind of situations. 80-year-olds who are just check to check, whether it's Social Security or whatever.
So Alderwoman Connolly wanted to respond to Alderman Williams saying, hey, Alderman in Ward 8, they've got money over there in Ward 8, but not in Alderman Williams' ward.
Woman Connolly.
Thank you. This isn't funny. Ward 8 has plenty of pockets of low income.
But you want to ticket
Let me finish what I'm saying.
We'll go in order.
Okay, please do finish.
Oh, thank you for the permission.
Go ahead, Alderwoman Connolly.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm glad I'm allowed to speak tonight. I have not done that much, Mr. McMenamin.
Let's just try to stick to the subject matter.
I'm
please.
trying to, Mayor, if these gentlemen would let me finish my sentence.
Thank you.
I have plenty of pockets of low-income homeowners and elderly homeowners, which is why I pushed through an ordinance to give them support to do exterior repairs. I'm not as concerned about elderly homeowners who can't afford trimmers getting ticketed. I don't want to see landlords getting passes. People who are earning an income from their property need to be ticketed if they're not maintaining their property. It's not a laughing matter. I've got plenty of low-income pockets in my ward, and I'm going to advocate for them too. So maybe we could stop this east-west stuff where everyone in my ward is wealthy. That's not how this city works. And you can nod and you can laugh at me all you want, Mr. Williams.
We'll come up with a process regarding addressing landlords.
So there you go. Again, the passions continue to be on display at last night's Springfield City Council meeting, and this was, again, 4 hours of a meeting. And then you get to the vote for the overall budget. Alderman McMiniman, he said that he was going to support this, but he can't support it because it doesn't do enough for broadband. But then the mayor suggested go ahead and make an amendment to include broadband funding, and they did. They approved that, and then the vote started.
Alderman McMiniman.
Yes.
Alderwoman Connolly.
Whoa, stop.
Can we get a picture of that?
What?
One more time. I want to hear one more time.
Is that the first time in 12 years?
First in 12 years.
Someone else is going to get a standing ovation. That's
So Alderman McMiniman votes for the first time for a budget in his 12 years.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe.
That's incredible.
Alderwoman Connolly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to beat that. So the budget passes after 4 hours of debate, a lot of emotion. That's your council roundup brought to you by Head West Subs. When you want a great sub, you've got to Head West. Now, 7:53.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions. And did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
It's the time of year when the best part of your day might very well be getting out of the weather and getting into your nice, comfortable home. But is your home as comfortable as it could be? It can be with MB Heating and Cooling. First of all, a service agreement with MB Heating and Cooling makes sure that your furnace is working at peak capacity and optimum performance. You save money, you extend the life of your equipment, all at big savings. You can find out more about service agreements at mb-heating.com. But don't forget about the other services MB offers, like a humidifier. As part of your heating system, it would make a huge difference in indoor air quality and comfort. You can ask the team at MB about one when you schedule your service appointment. And maybe it's time for a new furnace all the way around. If your furnace is old and tired and not as efficient as it should be, it's time for a new one. Talk to the folks at MB Heating and Cooling. Again, you can go to mb-heating.com or call 217-544-HEAT, 217-544-4328.
If you want to bank safe from anywhere, get the app you can use everywhere. Your money's right in your hand. Nobody loves you like Heartland. Get a loan, pay a bill when you're on the go. Deposit that check right from your phone. Download our app and you can. Nobody loves you like Heartland. We're like a bank, but only better, 'cause you'll remember. Bank like you own the place. Heartland Credit Union.
Lucky, lucky, lucky. At Impact Life, we are lucky to have donors like you. To show how appreciative we are of you, right now, when you donate blood, we'll give you a voucher for a Kelly Green Changing the World Together t-shirt. Just in time for St. Paddy's Day. How festive. Or choose a voucher for a $10 gift card to one of our participating businesses. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still giving you a voucher for a gift card or a lucky Kelly Green t-shirt. Don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield, or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please give what's in your heart, because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
John, do you remember what you were doing, say, about 10 years ago?
About as good as recalling what happened last week.
Right. Well, if you purchase, say, a dishwasher at Dick Van Dyke Appliance World, 9 years and 364 days ago, it'd still be covered.
Buy the famous 10-year protection plan, of course.
Well, it's included with most purchases at Dick Van Dyke. And according to one Google reviewer, they still had unmatched prices and helpful people who delivered and set up the appliances without hassle.
The review mentions that they shopped around, did the comparison, and still found the best value at Dick Van Dyke.
So can you really not recall what you did last week?
Can you?
Now that I think of it, not really.
This is Dennis Reekin, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. Our exclusive 10-year protection plan comes free with most appliance purchases, and we still beat any competitor's deal. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Hello, everybody. Cousin Bill with Illinois Paving. Your Reader's Choice Award Paver of the Year. Thanks for that. Is your driveway a sloppy, muddy mess? Are you tired of getting stuck in your driveway? Maybe you're sick of all the sloppy mud in the car and in the house. Or maybe you don't want all the garbage rock in your lawn. Well, if so, call Cousin Bill at Illinois Paving. ILPaving.com! ILPaving.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, back with Springfield's Morning News. Love telling you about some wild and crazy things that are happening. And joining us right now to talk about just one of those is Maggie. Donkey ball?
Donkey basketball.
Donkey basketball. What in the world is donkey basketball?
Exactly that. And people keep asking me, well, what is it? It is donkey basketball. I have lovingly bullied my friends and community members into riding donkeys and playing basketball simultaneously. So they're going to mount these donkeys and dribble the ball down the court and probably shoot, maybe score. We'll see, because the donkeys have to move and they have to dribble and pass. We are super excited for this. I'm here for the Pawnee PTO, and this is one of our fundraisers for events to raise money for teachers and staff members. We fund grants, field trips, things like that. And our community has welcomed this event with open arms.
Well, who provides the donkeys?
There is a whole company that takes this little group of donkeys around for people to ride. I'm so excited for it.
Why is this not an Olympic sport? That's what I want to know, is why this is not an Olympic sport. When's this happening, and how much is it to watch all this unfold?
We're doing it on Sunday. There's going to be 3 games. We've got the Pawnee senior class going against their own teachers. And then the second game, that starts at 4 p.m. Doors will open at 3:30. The game kicks off at 4. Our second game will follow that, and it will be our local community celebrities against Pawnee coaches. And then the winners of each game will play each other in the Donkey Basketball Championship. Tickets are $10 in advance, but you can get them for $12 at the door.
And has there been any training involved here? Did the teams have to get together for some kind of testing and training and do the rounds?
I texted all of the riders to let them know that I needed them to meet the donkey wrangler.
Right.
That's the official name, and go over the rules. And I do need them to sign a waiver. And I said, I'll drop you the waiver off in advance so you can read it. And they all said, I'm going in blind. I don't want to know. So God bless the Pawnee community for trusting us.
How many years has this been going on?
They let me do it for the first time ever this year. It hasn't been done. It hasn't been done in the Pawnee community. They told me they did it about 10 or so years ago.
I can't believe this.
But we're bringing it back.
Donkey basketball. Again, just give us the details here as people are getting ready to get out of their cars.
This Sunday, February 26th, starting at 4 p.m. Doors open at 3:30. You can get advance tickets for $10, or you can buy them at the door for $12. And we will also have free donkey rides for the kids between games.
So donkey basketball, free donkey rides, Pawnee High School. You can't go wrong with that. Maggie, thank you so much for taking time with us.
Greg.
All right,
It's so good to see you.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, now 8:01.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville. Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
To reconsider, immigration advocates are vowing to sue the administration to stop this from going into effect as soon as next month.
Seattle City Council voting to ban discrimination based on caste. This is ABC News.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
It's the morning.
All right, we got a lot more to get to. Of course, another entire hour here. I'm going to be with you till 9 o'clock. Typically, I'm out at 8:30. Full disclosure, and Jim Leach coming in, Better Government Association. But Jim's off, so I'll be taking that over from 8:30 to 9. In the meantime, we'll talk with the Deputy Police Chief about some stats that were recently reported on, but apparently have been rescinded. Also, we will delve into business in the 217. That's just some of what's coming up here in the next half hour with Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk, now 8:03.
News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. News.
Weather.
92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story is Springfield man is dead after a crash in Macon County yesterday. The Macon County coroner says 40-year-old Benjamin Black died when his SUV ran off Interstate 72 as he was traveling westbound near Harristown. The SUV hit an embankment, became airborne, and then struck the overpass. Black was pronounced dead at the scene around 2:45 a.m. yesterday. The coroner says he died of multiple injuries to his head, neck, and torso. It's not known what caused Black's vehicle to go off the road. The University of Illinois Springfield cricket team has advanced to the National College Cricket Association National Tournament March 16th in Houston. Cricket bears some similarities to baseball, but it's played with teams of 11 on an oval-shaped field. The
Hands-on experience and knowledge are traits we expect of our elected officials. No one is more qualified and experienced in the city treasurer's office than Colleen Redpath.
Releasing more details about her proposal to turn the Lake Springfield Beach House into a summertime gathering spot. As WMAY was the first to report last month, Busher paid for architectural sketches out of her own pocket. Her vision includes picnic tables with umbrellas, space for food trucks, bocce ball courts, and a small stage for outdoor entertainment. She would also seek a vendor to operate an indoor beverage stand at the beach house. One-time advisor to former President Donald Trump, Kellyanne Conway, will be the featured speaker at the Sangamon County Republican Party's annual Lincoln Day dinner on May 3rd at the BOS Center. Conway was Trump's 2016 campaign manager and then served as senior counselor to the president in the Trump White House. Tickets begin at $125 per person for the dinner. A photo opportunity is also available for $50. You can learn more at sangamonrepublicans.com. Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Hands-on experience and knowledge are traits we expect of our elected officials. No one is more qualified and experienced in the city treasurer's office than Colleen Redpath-Fager. Colleen is the only candidate for city treasurer that works hands-on daily in every area of the office. Redpath-Fager has increased profits on our city investments, streamlined the collection of city revenues, and kept our money locally invested. As city treasurer, Colleen Redpath-Fager will continue to increase our investment profits and collection revenues, modernize online and text collection of violations, and provide greater financial and debt transparency between city departments and the public. Colleen will ensure an innovative and effective city treasurer's office that Springfield residents will benefit from and be proud of. Colleen Redpath-Fager, proven leadership of experience, trustworthiness, and dedication to our community that you can count on. Vote Colleen Redpath-Fager for Springfield City Treasurer.
Paid for by Friends of Colleen Redpath-Fager.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Listen and watch interviews with the biggest newsmakers. Subscribe to 92.7 WMAY on YouTube.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Showers and thunderstorms continuing throughout the day. High near 63. Clearing skies tonight with a low of 45 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and windy with temperatures falling throughout the day. 39 degrees by 5 p.m., 20 degrees tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 35, low around 28. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
It's the time of year when the best part of your day might very well be getting out of the weather and getting into your nice, comfortable home. But is your home as comfortable as it could be? It can be with MB Heating and Cooling. First of all, a service agreement with MB Heating and Cooling makes sure that your furnace is working at peak capacity and optimum performance. You save money, you extend the life of your equipment, all at big savings. You can find out more about service agreements at mb-heating.com. But don't forget about the other services MB offers, like a humidifier. As part of your heating system, it would make a huge difference in indoor air quality and comfort. You can ask the team at MB about one when you schedule your service appointment. And maybe it's time for a new furnace all the way around. If your furnace is old and tired and not as efficient as it should be, it's time for a new one. Talk to the folks at MB Heating and Cooling. Again, you can go to mb-heating.com or call 217-544-HEAT, 217-544-4328.
You have a choice when it comes to where you bank, and you should consider INB. INB was founded in 1999 to bring community back to the local banking market. INB is steeped in Springfield history and committed to making banking easy through technology, whether working with individuals, businesses, or government agencies. Check out INB at INB.com. See what community banking is all about by stopping by any of 8 Sangamon County locations. INB, member FDIC.
Order your sub from the new Head West in-store kiosks, and you get a free brownie. Free brownie.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
So I think yesterday at this time, we were talking about a story from a Fox affiliate up in Chicago that was essentially saying, hey, Springfield, Illinois is the second most dangerous city in Illinois, but is that the case? Is that a real representation to the statistics that we see in Illinois and in particular in Springfield? Well, apparently that story has now been taken off of Fox's website, so I'm pulling it up now where I had it linked before in my show prep. And if you go to the search the Fox affiliate website, it says, sorry, page requested, it's not found. You got a 404 error there. So what's going on here? It was not a lot of detail in the story to begin with, but we see these lists come out all the time. Different lists like, the top searched conspiracy theories for all these states, or the top areas of Springfield that have the most pay for lawn care. All these different lists come out from all over the place, but are they fully vetted? And I think it's an important question, especially as somebody who is on the air. And I'll take responsibility looking at a Fox affiliate website about this story. I thought it was interesting to kind of get some of your reaction, but is that necessarily the case? To delve into this a bit further and to better unpack the importance of statistics, who's reporting these statistics, maybe there are cities that aren't reporting these statistics. Josh Stunkel, he is the Assistant Chief of Police here in Springfield. He joins us now. Josh, thanks for taking time with us this morning. And I guess just lay it out there, your understanding of this report and where the statistics ultimately are coming from.
Good morning, Greg. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, I was listening to your segment yesterday, and I heard that story, and I, got to work, and first thing I did was try and figure out where did those stats come from. And I went to the Fox 32 story, and they didn't really have a lot of background on where they came up with that stat. Called them. They referred me to a local reporter. Couldn't get a hold of that person, and really never found the accurate stats that would have portrayed that.
Well, and as I said this morning, knowing I was going to talk to you to kind of unpack some of this a bit further, the Fox affiliate took it off their website, which in itself speaks volumes, right?
Well, they were very apologetic. They said, that they hadn't vetted the story either. I appreciate your, apology this morning. And I think that's, part of the responsible reporting is, recognizing when there was a mistake and now having me on today so that we can address it.
Yeah, and Josh, just to, kind of talk a little bit further about this, and we get these lists all the time from different places, and it's a lot of different compilations of numbers. But talk about, listen, I'm looking at another list here. It's from populationu.com, most dangerous cities in Illinois, breaks down some of the statistics, talks about, different types of crimes. This does have Springfield as listed number 2 with 45.4, and I'll just pull this up again so people can see it if they're watching online. But we're listed as second per capita. But this might even not even tell the whole story, right? Because there are some municipalities that might not report as honestly as, say, Springfield does. So that could possibly skew those numbers. Is that right?
So the Population U, I did see that study. They are using the NIBRS data, with National Incident-Based Reporting System, which is what everyone is supposed to be switching to. All law enforcement agencies are supposed to report to the federal government using this NIBRS system. Now, not everyone's up to date on that. And if you look at the bottom of that study, they indicate that only 300 and some cities in the state actually responded, or that they used data from only 300 studies.
Yeah, it's 328
of the 950.
Of 934,
so a lot of your major cities,
right.
The top population cities in Illinois are not included. There's no Chicago, there's no Joliet, no Peoria. They're not included in that study, and that's how we end up on their study looking like number 2.
Yeah, so just getting some more clarity here from the Springfield Police Department. Joshua Stunkel with us. He is the Assistant Chief of Police, and getting a better understanding of how these numbers are reported. And I remember even a couple of weeks ago doing the council roundup every week that Police Chief Scarlett talked about how some of the crime stats are changing from year to year. How does Springfield look compared to years previous?
So we are, 2022 was, a down year as far as violent crime. Shootings, shots fired, we saw big reductions. We're down shootings, 40% decrease in shootings, and almost, it's 36% in homicides. Our shots fired, confirmed shots fired numbers are down as well for 2022. And a lot of that is due to, the proactive efforts of our officers who are out there every day, taking guns off the street to prevent those situations. Last year, we had another record year in gun seizures, and we recovered over 500 firearms.
So again, just better understanding these stats, the difference between violent crime and other types of crime. These things, obviously, when you get down into the gritty numbers, it's best to know exactly where those numbers are coming from. But I really, I think the story here is not about who's ranked on this list, right? I think the story is there's still a lot of municipalities and almost half the population not being reported in this data. Talk a bit about that new system and how Springfield was quick to adapt to that system of reporting these statistics out.
So we were really on the front end of that, had some grant money that helped us along in that, but it really is the efforts of our records employees. They stay on top of that and work very hard to keep those numbers accurate and to get them in reported on time. But there is even a delay in that. It takes a little while to get through all of the reports during a given month and to report those accurately.
Yeah, and again, when we look at this list from Population U, it has Springfield listed as second. But as the assistant police chief rightly points out here, if you scroll all the way down, you will clearly see that only 328 of 934 reporting agencies have reported, and that only covers 7.8 million people in Illinois. Illinois' got, 12.8 million people? So, yeah, obviously there's a lot more of these agencies that need to report these numbers out, and we'll be looking at that a little bit closer. Appreciate the clarity. Assistant Police Chief Joshua Stunkel, thank you so much for taking time with us, and I imagine we'll connect again soon so that you can correct the record in the future, all right?
Thanks, Greg. Our numbers are available on our website. We have a transparency page. If you want to see crime stats, if you want to see what crime is happening in your area of the city, all of that's available on our website.
And do you have that website off the top of your head?
No.
Springfield.il.us, and if you click on transparency, I just pulled it up here, but if you click on transparency, you can start clicking through and look at all of the different various information they have available, including more detail about the shared principles and community engagement, and all of that, again, springfield.il.us. Click on transparency, and you'll find out more. Joshua Stunkel, thank you so much for taking time with us, the Assistant Chief of Police for the city of Springfield. We'll talk again soon, all right?
Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News, now 8:19, and let's take a look at Springfield's dependable 5-day forecast, where today you've got yourself a high of around 63 degrees. Possibility of some showers and storms. The low down to around 45 with a continued chance of showers. Thursday, sunny with a high of 39. That's only going to be after the temperature drops throughout the day. Then Thursday night, the low of 20. Could be blustery. Friday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies, 35 the high. And Saturday, mostly sunny, 47 the high. By Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 56. Right now, 8:19. And it's about 44 degrees, overcast skies on WMAY.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
Why waste another night on a mattress that's not comfortable or supportive? This is Caleb Kitzman with Verlo Mattress. Our mattresses aren't dropped off by the truckload like most mattress stores. At Verlo, we handcraft every mattress in our local factory. That means we custom fit a mattress for you, not the other way around. Stop in this month and pair any of our mattresses with an adjustable base and get up to $200 off. Verlo Mattress. We're not just building a better mattress, we're building a better night's sleep for less.
The Verlo Mismatch Sale is back. It's our biggest sale of the year. Mismatch on the outside, the same Verlo long-lasting craftsmanship on the inside. So hurry in now and save an additional 10% off every mattress and box spring. Wake up. Sleep better. Verlo.
What's the best thing to do with your money during uncertain times? Financial experts agree products like certificates of deposit and money market accounts can be a safe haven from a bumpy economy. At Warren Boynton State Bank, we've been helping people find ways for their money to make money for 145 years. Certificates of deposit, or CDs, give you a guaranteed return on your money. Money market accounts are a way to let your money earn higher interest with the flexibility of a checking account. These are just two options we have at Warren Boynton, each designed to give your money security, and they just might help you sleep better at night. At Warren Boynton, you can say we've seen a few things over the years. A lot has happened since we opened our doors in 1877, but no matter what was going on in the rest of the world, we've stood by folks in Central Illinois. A little extra confidence during challenging economic times. Warren Boynton State Bank, WBSB.net, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Warren Boynton, your bank.
Hi, I'm Misty Busher, and I'm running for Springfield Mayor. My goal is to bring new leadership for a better Springfield, and that means rolling up my sleeves and hitting the ground running to make sure things get accomplished. I will work hard to bring much-needed change for economic development, job growth, infrastructure, homelessness, and beautification of our city. These are just a few of the issues I'm focused on. I'm here to fight for Springfield and to bring changes to benefit every resident. I ask for your vote as Mayor of Springfield. Please vote Misty Busher.
Paid for by Friends of Misty Busher.
Register today for the Lincoln Presidential Half Marathon. Run where Lincoln walked. Take to the streets on Saturday, April 1st. Your run begins and ends downtown with an amazing post-race party on Adams Street between 4th and 5th, featuring Buzz Bomb Brewery, Cafe Moxo, and Kidsium. Want to help keep the course safe or keep our runners hydrated? Volunteer opportunities are available as well. The Lincoln Presidential Half Marathon, Saturday, April 1st. Register today at lincolnhalf.com.
Hi, this is Rob from Car Guys Auto Works. I repaired 5 exhaust systems last week and saved the owners well over $3,000 in the process. If you have a noisy exhaust system, give me a call. I'll save you some money too. By the way, I'm looking for a quality technician to join our team. If you know someone or are a tech yourself, give me a call. My number is 217-415-5581. We have been behind for several weeks and need some help. And as always, if you have an issue with our service, let me know. I can't fix it if I don't know about it.
Anxiety. There's plenty of it to go around for just about everyone these days, but the question is, how are you dealing with it? Anxiety can make things difficult. If you find yourself reaching for drugs or alcohol as the solution, chances are your anxiety has gotten out of control. It's time to pick up the phone and call Gateway Foundation. You'll talk with someone who holds the strictest confidentiality so that you can open up and learn about treatment options. Our team of professional counselors, therapists, psychiatrists, and physicians have a long history of helping people like you get back on track. During the healing process, you'll find that there is nothing to be ashamed of. Calling Gateway Foundation is that important first step towards getting away from the self-medication of alcohol and other substances and on the road towards safe, rewarding, and sustainable recovery. Call Gateway Foundation at 877-505-HOPE for a free, private, confidential screening. Gateway Foundation, addiction medicine saving lives.
Recycling can be complicated if you're running a business. New rules, paperwork, security, and accountability are all factors that can be confusing. BLH Computers takes care of that recycling program from start to finish without any worries. Whether it's a television at home or 100 computers at the office. Trust BLH Computers. Pickup at your business is also available too. BLH Computers in Jacksonville, Taylorville, and Springfield, and online at blhcomputers.com.
All right, head on over to WMAY.com/poll where you can answer the question, should the U.S. continue to provide economic and military assistance to Ukraine as the Russian invasion enters its second year? Considering we've already given, $130 billion or something, and we're also going to start paying for their pensions. It looks like 62% of you say no, we should not continue to provide economic or military assistance, while about 38% of you say yes, we should. Go vote at WMAY.com/poll or on the WMAY mobile app, and don't forget about our contest page as well, where you can learn how to win a $75 rebate with Fly SPI in the Abraham Lincoln Capital Airport. All you got to do is answer a trivia question. If you correctly answer that question, you'll be entered into a drawing each and every week, and I'm going to announce the winner of this week's $75 rebate from Fly SPI. $750 tomorrow. All right, so stay tuned for that. It's all at WMAY.com.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 92.7 WMAY.
Well, as we do each and every week at this time, let's check in with Michelle Ownby from the Springfield Business Journal about the latest happenings in and around the Springfield business community. Michelle, thanks for taking time with us. How you doing out there?
Good morning, Greg. Doing well?
Good to hear. It was just overcast skies here a moment ago, and then all of a sudden, right when I went to commercial break, the skies opened up and we had a deluge. But now it seems to have cleared back up a little bit. Still overcast skies, so hopefully down where you're at in downtown Springfield, you're staying somewhat dry. But let's get to it with the latest business happenings. We've got Grab a Java. They're opening up another location. Tell us where people are going to be able to get a delicious cup of joe.
Yes, so if this is a day that, you don't want to get out of your car, the new Grab Java is now officially open over there on Chatham and Monroe. I talked with Bill Liggy yesterday. He said they opened on Saturday and they didn't tell anybody. They wanted to make sure that they worked out all the kinks because even though it's their third location, it was actually the first opening for him. He and his wife Vicki purchased that business in 2018 from Meg and Pete Lazaire, and have been carrying on the tradition, including the banners. In fact, the new location has 6 exterior panels that feature some of Pete's artwork. You may remember they put out a coffee table book of his artwork shortly after his death to pay tribute to him, and so Bill's kept that tradition alive. But he's hoping to use this new store as a prototype for future expansion, but says that he's going to kind of give it about a year and wait and see how this goes. Everything's still a little wacky with property prices and interest rates, and we're still seeing some COVID fallout and all that in people's spending habits and patterns. So he's just going to try to focus on ramping up the 3 stores that he's got, and then eventually looking to expand maybe a little further south.
Yeah, it really is kind of an awkward moment where you've got interest rates a certain way. Are they going to continue to go up? We're going to see some stabilization. You got inflation. You've got the housing and the commercial property market that's being impacted by all of these factors. So, yeah, it's always good to see, though, businesses taking those risks and testing things out, because it's those entrepreneurs that bring us what we love each and every day, including that cup of joe. So good to hear about Grab a Java. Let's talk now about a new home goods store. That's actually Tuesday morning. What is this? They're closing?
Yeah, well, actually, it is a home goods store, but unfortunately, this one is going away. So it's not a new thing. We're still seeing some COVID fallout, especially from these national retailers. A couple weeks ago, Bed Bath & Beyond announced significant nationwide closures, including the Springfield location. Now Tuesday morning's done the same. This is actually their second bankruptcy filing in 3 years. They initially filed in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, and they had reduced their number of stores as part of a reorganizational bankruptcy. But now they're closing another 260-odd stores, including Springfield and most of the ones in central Illinois. So they're still trying to make a go of it, but they are going to be down significantly. Waiting for the court to give final approval to their bankruptcy plans, but the one there in the Town and Country Shopping Center on MacArthur is scheduled to close, along with Peoria and Champaign.
Michelle Ownby with us from the Springfield Business Journal, giving us all of the latest we need to know about things that are opening, things that are closing, and other trends within the Springfield business community. Before we get to this next item, Michelle, tell us how we can get our hands on the Springfield Business Journal.
Well, if you get online at springfieldbusinessjournal.com, you can sign up for BizBites. That's our weekly newsletter, and it's free of charge. Comes out every Wednesday afternoon, so there's still time to get this week's edition. And, of course, you can also sign up to get the print edition sent directly to your home or office.
All right, let's talk now about planning, something that businesses have to do, and even in your own home, you have to plan ahead if you're wanting to make a big purchase. But what about city planning? What about making sure that things are lined up and they've got an idea of what to expect for the years ahead? Tell us about the master plan for the city of Springfield and how that is meant to draw in more of the medical district and make that a larger part of what's going on here.
Yes, there's a new initiative underway, and I know sometimes people's eyes kind of glaze over when they hear planning, and they think, oh my gosh, why do we need to spend more money on a plan that's just going to sit on a shelf? But as you said, it's really so important to be strategic about these things, because let's face it, you can drive down several significant corridors in our city, MacArthur Boulevard, for example, and you can see what happens when you do not have a strategic plan for how an area is going to develop. And so right now there's an effort underway. It's not just the city, but they've also partnered with the Springfield Sangamon Growth Alliance, Downtown Springfield, the Community Foundation, and the Mid-Illinois Medical District. And so they're looking at how to better connect the downtown area to the Med District, because we've looked at both of those areas individually, but let's face it, they are adjacent. You've got TIF districts for both of those. You've got some of your largest employers with the hospitals and SIU School of Medicine there in the Med District. And then downtown, just a few blocks away, we're constantly hearing about how we need more traffic downtown, more residents downtown. So this effort is to look at how to tie it all together. And of course, there's a lot of public engagement. You don't necessarily have to be a resident of either downtown or the Med District to participate. They're really looking for feedback from the community as a whole. What are your thoughts about these areas? What would make you more likely to visit these areas? What do you think these areas need? So there's an online questionnaire that just went live, and then they're also going to be doing a series of community meetings, which they've already started with, property owners, developers, community stakeholders, all that good stuff. So excited to see what the recommendations are.
As we are. So we'll keep an eye on all of that and more with Michelle Loamby, the Springfield Business Journal, and greatly appreciate you taking the time. We'll talk again soon, all right?
All right. Thanks, Greg.
It is Springfield's Morning News on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And stay tuned, because I'll be talking with the Better Government Association for full disclosure, as Jim Leach has the morning off. Right now, though, it's 8:32, and let's get a headline check.
92.7 WMAY.
Here are the three big things you need to know.
I'm Don Howard. Our top story: states in the northern plains are bracing for a winter storm that could bring up to 2 feet of snow, strong winds, and dangerously cold temperatures. Many schools throughout the Dakotas, Minnesota, and Wisconsin were canceled today ahead of the storm. The Minnesota legislature closed until Monday. Emergency management leaders warned people to stay off the roads or face potential whiteout conditions due to the snow and fierce winds. Work is continuing on demolition of structures at the former Pillsbury Mills site in Springfield. The nonprofit group that now owns the site, Moving Pillsbury Forward, has removed 2 unsafe warehouses and a couple of smaller buildings. The group plans to offer more site tours to the public this spring as it continues efforts to document the history of the site by collecting photographs and oral histories from those with connections to Pillsbury. Springfield aldermen have rejected a last-minute request to avoid the use of city dollars to demolish 2 downtown buildings. Horace Mann will receive $600,000 in downtown TIF funding to cover a portion of the cost to tear down 2 structures on East Washington adjacent to property the insurance company has developed. The Downtown Springfield Heritage Foundation sought to block the demolition due to the building's historical value, while Horace Mann argued that they were too deteriorated to save. Aldermen voted 7-2 to approve the funding. Inspector General for the City of Springfield, Roger Holmes, says there is no mechanism to punish an alderman for talking about city council discussions that took place in executive session. Holmes investigated public comments about a closed-door meeting in 2021 regarding forgiveness of a debt owed by the Wyndham City Center. Holmes says the ordinance is silent on what to do and recommended that the city council adopt clear-cut rules to govern those situations. Holmes also announced his retirement effective next week. The University of Illinois Springfield cricket team has advanced to the National College Cricket Association National Tournament March 16th in Houston. Cricket bears some similarities to baseball, but is played with teams of 11 on an oval-shaped field, utilizing a flatter, wider bat than baseball. The UIS Cricket Club was formed in 2015, but sat dormant for several years until 2 students revived it in 2021. The team finished second in last fall's Midwest Regionals, earning its spot at the Nationals. One-time advisor to former President Donald Trump, Kellyanne Conway, will be the featured speaker at the Sangamon County Republican Party's annual Lincoln Day dinner on May 3rd at the BOS Center. Conway was Trump's 2016 campaign manager and then served as senior counselor to the president in the Trump White House. Tickets begin at $125 per person for the dinner. A photo opportunity is also available for $50. You can learn more at SangamonRepublicans.com. Your dependable 5-day forecast is next on WMAY.
Hands-on experience and knowledge are traits we expect of our elected officials. No one is more qualified and experienced in the city treasurer's office than Colleen Redpath-Fager. Colleen is the only candidate for city treasurer that works hands-on daily in every area of the office. Redpath-Fager has increased profits on our city investments, streamlined the collection of city revenues, and kept our money locally invested. As city treasurer, Colleen Redpath-Fager will continue to increase our investment profits and collection revenues, modernize online and text collection of violations, and provide greater financial and debt transparency between city departments and the public. Colleen will ensure an innovative and effective city treasurer's office that Springfield residents will benefit from and be proud of. Colleen Redpath-Fager, proven leadership of experience, trustworthiness, and dedication to our community that you can count on. Vote Colleen Redpath-Fager for Springfield City Treasurer.
Paid for by friends of Colleen Redpath-Fager.
The Illinois Product Expo is back Saturday, March 4th, 10 to 5, and Sunday, March 5th, 10 to 3, at the Orr Building, located on the Illinois State Fairgrounds. The expo has brought Illinois food companies and consumers together for 24 years. Sample new products, relax in the Illinois Wine Garden, and stock up on your longtime favorites. Admission is $5. Children 10 and under are free. Sponsored by Illinois Department of Agriculture, Illinois Farm Bureau, Illinois Wine, Hy-Vee, Harvest Market, Prairie Farms, Taraski Meats, and Illinois FFA. Visit IllinoisProductExpo.com for details.
Less hassle, more travel. We've got connections. Springfield to Chicago O'Hare to anywhere you need to travel on United Airlines. From your next business trip to your next family vacation, United Airlines can get you there from the Abraham Lincoln Capitol Airport. Security lines are short, parking is always free, and customer service is a top priority. Book your next United Airlines flight from SPI at united.com.
SPI, take the easy way out.
Hi, it's Taylor Stevens from Synergy Home Care. Catch our business spotlight this afternoon at 5:40 on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk.
Miss an interview? Catch the podcast whenever, wherever. 92.7 WMAY is on demand at WMAY.com.
Your dependable 5-day forecast on WMAY. Showers and thunderstorms continuing throughout the day. High near 63. Clearing skies tonight with a low of 45 degrees. Tomorrow, sunny and windy with temperatures falling throughout the day. 39 degrees by 5 p.m., 20 degrees tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny with a high near 35, low around 28. Saturday, partly sunny with a high near 47. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. I'm Don Howard, 92.7 WMAY.
Weather sponsored by Lauterbach Tire and Auto, home of Stage 2 service. Drive safely now.
There are 3 words I always hear when someone from our staff is on the phone. We got it. Hi, it's Laurie from Rex Battery, and whenever somebody calls us and asks if we have a certain type of battery, the answer is always, we got it. Even in those very rare instances we don't, we know how to get it. And if we don't know how to get it, we'll build it. That's how committed we are to making sure you have the power you need. From model cars to real cars, from toys to tractors, dog collars to doorbells, riding mowers to remote keys. If it takes a battery, we have it at Rex Battery. Over 75,000 batteries in stock right now. So if you're wondering if we've got a battery, yep, we've got it. They're fresh, fully charged, and ready to go. Keeping Central Illinois fully powered for over 60 years. Rex Battery, Clear Lake, west of Dirksen.
X with a double X battery. Generations of power.
This is Rob Zavitka, Director of Sales and Business Development Manager for Midwest Family Springfield. Are you the one person I'm looking for to help further build our media sales team at Midwest Family Springfield? We are the premier multimedia marketing company that no other company compares to in the Springfield area. It's really simple. I need one sales leader, a brand ambassador whose talent and team focus will thrive working with Midwest Family. Are you passionate, self-motivated, goal-oriented, and highly competitive? Are you an overachiever, a problem solver with great communication skills? Do you have the skill set for today's digital marketing? And do you believe in growing lasting partnerships partnerships? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. At Midwest Family Springfield, you'll be challenged, you'll be trained, and you'll have access to world-class tools like HubSpot CRM. Are you the one I'm looking for? If so, apply online today at MidwestFamilySPI.com and click on the Careers tab. Midwest Family is an equal opportunity employer.
Maybe you heard this before. Drain your phone's battery down to 0 to make it last longer. Well, that's the last thing you want to do. I'm Kim Commando, America's Digital Pro, with 3 phone battery myths busted. Let's start with myth number 1. A long time ago, draining your phone's battery to extend its life might have been true. That's because the batteries old cell phones used weren't lithium-ion, but now they are. And modern batteries actually degrade faster if you zero them out. So here's the rule. Keep your phone's battery level between 20 and 80%. Myth number 2, use only the charger that came with your phone. Okay, that's best. But if you do want a faster charger, just make sure it's compatible with the device you're using, or it might catch fire. Myth number 3, never use your phone while it's charging. Using your phone while it's charging can generate heat, but most modern smartphones, they can handle it. It's not a problem. But try to avoid it, if at all possible. Sound like a tech pro, even if you aren't one. The easy way. Get my Daily Longer podcast. It's perfect for whenever you're on the go or even at home. It's called Kim Commando Today. What do you do when something just doesn't work? You Google it. Too often, that's a complete waste of time. You need someone to hold your hand. Maybe you're lucky enough to have someone to call for help or come over. But let's face it, they're too busy for you. Finding tech support online is risky. That's why I partner with top tech experts to give you 24/7 live support that you can trust. They'll fix your problems or there's no charge. I'm so proud to tell you about GetKimsHelp.com. Whether it's a problem with your Wi-Fi, printer, smartphone, computer, TV, smart speaker, or another connected device, the experts at GetKimsHelp.com fix most issues in 10 minutes or less. High-tech troubleshooting tools like virtual house calls let them resolve even the most complex issues quickly. So stop Googling. Have your problem solved right now. Visit GetKimsHelp.com. It's an affordable way to fix problems with the help from experts who you can trust. GetKimsHelp.com. Get Kim's Help.
Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop, broadcasting from the Fly SPI Studios. Take the easy way out. 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.
Sunshine. Sunshine. Sunshine.
All it is, full disclosure, typically I'm out of here at this time with Jim Leach off this morning. I'm taking the helm, and joining me right now is from Full Disclosure and the Better Government Association, Brian Zaru. Brian, what's your title there?
The Director of Policy at the Better Government Association.
The Director of Policy. So I don't have any other better guest to talk about policy, especially when it comes to better government, than Brian here. So thanks for taking time with us each and every week. Let's get right into it. There's tons to tackle, including some that could wrap in the conversation we've been having here on these airwaves for a couple of weeks, dealing with open meetings. But when it comes to better government, one thing that people can probably use quite a bit more of is the Freedom of Information Act. How does the act best used? What are some pitfalls there are, and what are some possible changes that you guys are looking for with the BGA?
Yeah, absolutely. The Freedom of Information Act is fundamental to any democratic society. Finding information that that governments, public bodies won't openly give you. Sometimes they are a pain to try to get some information, but finding out data, finding out people in the court systems, finding out sometimes emails with elected officials and what's going on behind the scenes. These are all important for a democratic society and why we must uphold every aspect of the Freedom of Information Act.
So where do we have some areas where there could be more information that's freed, right? I mean, because I think the state legislature, they apparently have some carve-outs, but there's also carve-outs with the judicial system.
Absolutely. The judicial system in Illinois, unlike 44 other states, does not have any sort of, are not subject to the Freedom of Information Act at all. 44 other states have it either by state statute, or they have it by a rule from the Supreme Court, or their chief judges in their states allow information to be released. But here in Illinois, the courts are shrouded in secrecy. So we have a bill with Representative Curtis Tarver to change that.
And what kind of changes would we be looking at? Would it be open the books across the board, or would there be specific things that would be FOIA-able?
Yeah, no. So the exemptions of the actual FOIA law would still be in place, but we are not looking for things like judges' text messages or emails or any information that they have to create a decision. We're not looking for any of that. We're looking for the administrative functions of the court. How courts spend public funds is a secret. You cannot find that out. How are people disciplined in the juvenile detention centers? How many people are in the juvenile detention centers? Electronic monitoring programs. People don't know this, but in Cook County, I'm not sure throughout the rest of the state, in Cook County, you don't have you have two sets of electronic monitoring programs. You have sheriff's office and you have the courts. The sheriff's office, we can FOIA and find out who's on it. The courts, you cannot find out.
It's pretty incredible. Of course, when it comes to your tax dollars, you want to know how those dollars are being used, not just by city government, but even by the judicial branch and even by the legislative branch. So a lot of work that still needs to be done when it comes to getting that information free. Brian, I know you're not necessarily as plugged into Springfield as necessarily we are here on WMAY, but we've had a lot of discussion recently about open meetings and the importance of having open meetings followed, especially when it comes to the issues of executive sessions. We have an executive session that was held back in November of 2021 that dealt with some debt that was being forgiven concerning the Wyndham City Center, downtown Springfield, and then some detail about this executive session made it into the press. So they voted last night to actually release that 10 or 11 minutes of closed-door audio behind closed doors. So, open meetings, obviously an important conversation when it comes to better government. What are some of the things that you've seen happen up in Chicago when it comes to possible violations of the Open Meetings Act?
Yeah, absolutely. The Open Meetings Act, it stands for that, right? Open meetings. The state, counties, townships, school districts are all subject to the Open Meetings Act. You need 48-hour public notice that there is a meeting. If there's a vote, there needs to be some sort of recording of the meeting, some sort of transcript, or video or audio. But there are some closed meetings in discussing things like appointments or salaries, or so those are subject to executive session. But for the most part in Chicago, we had an issue where the mayor met with aldermen and they had a vote, and the BJA actually sued because they found out about it through a leak. But the interesting thing about it is you have a 60-day statute of limitations to sue the public body. We have a bill that would actually start the clock at the discovery of the meeting, because sometimes we find out a 61st day or 62nd day, and you cannot, sue the public body to find out what happened. So hopefully we can get that through, because it's actually absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and at least in Springfield and elsewhere where they do the executive sessions, they announce it. It's typically at the tail end of a public meeting, and they're like, okay, now we've got to go into executive session, and they announce what the executive session's for. But even then, the one that's in focus in Springfield right now happened back in November of 2021.
Oh, wow.
So that's well beyond the 60 days.
Yeah.
Thankfully, older people had the gumption to go ahead and approve releasing of those tapes, so we'll hear that. But all of this in the scope of better government and making sure that government works better for you. Brian Zaru with us. He is with the Better Government Association. Before we take a break here, Brian, tell us how people can get more information about what you guys are working on, the investigations you do, and the legislation you're supporting.
Absolutely. We have the bettergov.org website for all of our policy-initiated stuff, and then we also have illinoisanswers.org for our news organization.
So check both of those out. We'll be back with more to talk about legislation at the Illinois State House. We are in what some affectionately call silly season, where tons of bills are thrown onto the wall. They'll see what sticks. They've got committees going on. They've got budget negotiations. So how can you, as the taxpayer funding all of this, take part in whether you support or oppose legislation? So we'll get to that next here on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. But real quick, let's take a break at 8:49. Let's get that forecast out for you, that 5-day dependable forecast, where earlier we just had overcast skies, and then the skies opened up with some heavy rain, showers and storms likely throughout the day. Decreasing chance of that later on this afternoon with a high of 63, the low of 45 with a continued chance of showers tonight. And then sunny Thursday, but the temperature is going to drop to around 40 by the evening hours. The low down to 20 overnight Thursday night into Friday. Mostly sunny with a high of 35 for your Saturday, mostly sunny. 47 the high, and Sunday 56 the high with mostly sunny skies. Right now 44 degrees at 8:50 from Culver's West on Wabash.
It's time to apply at Culver's West on Wabash. We're hiring all positions, and did we mention free food? Only at Culver's West on Wabash.
Lucky, lucky, lucky. At Impact Life, we are lucky to have donors like you. To show how appreciative we are of you, right now when you donate blood, we'll give you a voucher for a Kelly Green Changing the World Together t-shirt. Just in time for St. Patty's Day. How festive. Or choose a voucher for a $10 gift card to one of our participating businesses. Even if you try to give blood and find out you can't, we're still giving you a voucher for a gift card or a lucky Kelly Green t-shirt. Don't delay. Make your appointment today. Giving blood is not a big deal, and you're done before you know it. Visit the Impact Life Donor Center today at Wabash and Chatham Road near Goodwill in Springfield, or on South Main Street in Decatur. Please give what's in your heart, because we are changing the world together. Visit bloodcenter.org.
John, the price of groceries is enough to send somebody into a panic mode these days.
Yeah, especially when the refrigerator goes kaput.
Even more so. We got a call from a customer who had that problem with a freezer load of those expensive groceries.
And that'll keep you awake at night just thinking about it.
Right. So, because Dick Van Dyke stocks the 100 most used parts, we were able to send a factory-trained tech out to her place to fix the problem before she lost any of that food.
And he wasn't some subcontractor either.
Trained right here locally by the team of Dick Van Dyke.
You know, one way to fight inflation?
Yep.
Keep from having to buy expensive stuff twice.
This is Dennis Regan, chairman of Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store, which means you have the comfort of knowing that if anything goes wrong, we'll make it right. Wow!
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. We stand behind what we sell. We offer so much more. Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
They're always doing something special for us.
I like the bowling game upstairs, and I played bingo.
The entertainment they have, it's always good.
I've made some nice friends.
I like the people here. Residents and the staff are both very, very nice.
It's a great place.
I love it.
Springfield Supportive Living. Are you young enough?
Hello, I'm Dr. Tanya DeSanto. At Prairie Dental Group, we let our patients do the talking.
Not just my friends who noticed it right away, but when I see my docs, and they'll say, let me look in your mouth, and go, oh, beautiful teeth, beautiful smile.
We sat down and talked about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it, and you guys were willing to work with us. You have your ducks in a row.
So I had to have a root canal, and doing that, there was no discomfort. It was basically just come in and take a nap while you did the work.
I just love them. They're all great. They treat me good. Couldn't have a better place to go.
I would highly recommend Prairie Dental, absolutely for sure.
Come see why so many of your friends and neighbors choose the all-women staff at Prairie Dental Group. Make your appointment today by calling 217-546-0412. Prairie Dental Group is located at the corner of Greenbrier and West White Oaks Drive right here in Springfield. And you can also find us on our website at prairiedentalgroup.com.
And thank you for voting us the best dental office in Springfield 8 years in a row.
The shortest distance between you and a Head West sub is now through the new in-store kiosks.
I don't want the same old thing. I got a craving for a Head West brownie today. Yeah!
Central Illinois' home for Lazy Boy furniture is Hendricks Home Furnishings in Verdon. Right now, Hendricks is offering some deep discounts on in-stock popular Lazy Boy recliners and stationary recliners, sofas, love seats, and sectionals. If you shopped Hendricks Home Furnishings recently, make a return trip to see fresh inventory in their showroom. For 70 years, Hendricks has been featuring customer service that matches their quality. Open Monday through Saturday, Hendricks Home Furnishings, Route 4 in Verdon.
Hi, I'm Ed Lex, your Springfield Edward Jones financial advisor. There is nothing more important to me than understanding what's important to you. Only then can you and I work through our established process to build your personalized strategies and the specific actions needed to help you achieve your financial goals. I'll continue to partner with you and your family throughout your life, revisiting your goals and risk tolerance, as well as the strategies we develop to help keep you on track towards your goals. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing, member SIPC.
Listen and watch the interviews with today's newsmakers on Facebook and YouTube. Like and subscribe now. Springfield's Morning News with Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY.
All right, we're back with Full Disclosure, Better Government Associations. Brian Zaru joins us here on WMAY. I'm Greg Bishop. Typically, Jim Leach carries this half hour. He's off this morning, but still plenty to talk about. Brian, as I had mentioned last segment, it's kind of the silly season where I think last week you had the deadline for the House to file bills. The week before that, you had the deadline for the Senate to file bills at the Illinois State House. How many bills are there? There's like 5,000 or something that have been filed. I mean, it's...
So far, it's up to what, 5,500. I think last thing I saw was it's a lot. 90% of it doesn't go anywhere. A lot of them are bills that lawmakers put forth because groups want to put stuff in, just like ours. We have a few bills that we hope that goes somewhere, but. So we'll see.
Well, and there's a lot of shell bills as well. Things that are just technical changes where they scratch out the and replace it with the, and then they file thousands of those in some instances, plus resolutions and appointment messages and a whole host of other things. But obviously, they're throwing a lot at the wall. There's going to be tons of committee hearings. The main thing they have to do is the budget. So we'll watch just how those negotiations go with the governor's budget and State of the State address last week. But how can the regular taxpayer who's paying for all of this, how can they take part in this process, if at all?
So because there's a lot of bills that are introduced, it's going to be tough for the individual person to go through and see what they think. But the important way, I think the best way to do it is if you're interested in, personal plug here, but transparency and accountability within government, you go to the bettergov.org website, or if you want to see something with criminal justice, you'll go to a criminal justice organization's website. And they usually have a really good platform where they have all the bills that related to them. We have that on our website, and we actually have a live tracker that minute by minute, the minute something changes, it gets a live, you get an email that says, hey, this is going to a committee. But another way you can do it is by filing witness slips. Witness slips are when something gets to a committee and you want to say, hey, I oppose this, or hey, I support this. You can actually go and file your name and say, hey, yes, I support this. Or you can actually give written testimony, or you can give video testimony, or go live to the Capitol and give testimony there. So there are many ways that you can do it.
Now, Brian, having watched this unfold for, 8-9 years or so, I've been watching the State House in real close, intimate detail. I see people file witness slips, and it can stack up to the thousands. I think most recently you had the legislation to ban certain semi-automatic weapons. There were 3 instances of that filed. Watching the witness slips for each different bill that was filed in each different committee, it was like 5-1 opposition to support. Yeah. It still passed. Do these witness slips really have any bearing, or when is it that they actually do have some bearing?
So I think that there's 2 separate types of bills. There's the very popular bills that leadership puts forward that the agenda of the governor, any governor, that they're going to be dead set on trying to get something through. But then there's smaller bills that don't get as much attention that the witness slips can have some impact. Unfortunately, there is a lot more opposition to certain bills, but because of different power structures, those bills will head through.
So you're talking more kind of like if a lawmaker looks at the witness slips, they're able to see, okay, the Illinois Chamber of Commerce is slipped as opposition. The Better Government Association is slipped as support. Not saying you guys are opposed on issues, but just it kind of gives lawmakers an idea of maybe where some of the sentiments may lie from these different groups.
Organizational opposition or organizational support means a lot. When the BGA or any other influential group tries to support or oppose something, the lawmaker will stop and say, hey, why does this group support it or oppose it? Maybe I should talk to them. And that happens all the time. I'm having meetings today because of certain things like that. And maybe it'll help, maybe it'll hurt. Who knows? But the conversations are happening.
Brian Zaru, give us the websites one more time for the BGA and also Illinois Answers.
So Illinois Answers, if you're interested in the solutions journalism, you can go to illinoisanswers.org. And for policy, bettergov.org.
Brian Zaru with the Better Government Association, greatly appreciate it. And I imagine you and I will see each other again soon, probably at the State House.
Yeah,
in just
I
a
think
few
we saw
minutes,
each other 10 times last week. So.
Right on.
Circling that rotunda.
That's right. So we'll talk soon. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop. We'll be back at it tomorrow from 6 to 9. Right now it's 9 o'clock.
From the Fly SPI Studios, take the easy way out. WMAY FM, Taylorville, Springfield's News and Talk is 92.7 WMAY.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Em Wynn. Airlines are issuing travel waivers, and people who don't have to go out are being told not to go out as some nasty weather moves across the country, most impacted by snow, wind, and ice, the Upper Plains states. ABC's Trevor Alt is in Minneapolis.
Officials are saying you really should try to avoid the roads altogether because around the Twin Cities area, just outside of it, there's already a blizzard warning. Wind gusts are going to be near 50 miles an hour. It is going to be impossible travel conditions, what we're going to be looking at over the next several days.
They're opening armories in Minneapolis as 24/7 shelters and have asked the Minnesota National Guard for help as well. In Poland today, President Biden said Russian President Vladimir Putin made a mistake in suspending participation in the START nuclear arms treaty. ABC's Mary Bruce is in Warsaw, where the president is announcing renewed Russian sanctions today.
The president continues to try and up the pressure on Putin, promising to announce new sanctions in the coming days. But so far, sanctions have done little to deter Putin. It is clear for now he has no intention of ending this war anytime soon.
And in Ukraine, battles rage. Here's ABC Chief Foreign Correspondent Ian Pannell in Kyiv.
The fighting on the ground in the east of Ukraine has been intense for weeks as Russia's anticipated offensive makes only slow progress. Both sides suffering heavy casualties. There have been more Russian strikes on civilian areas. And now Ukrainian officials have been told to work from home and school children are doing remote classes only for the next few days amid fears of even more missile strikes over the one-year anniversary of the start of the war.
Israeli troops entered a major Palestinian city in the occupied West Bank today. It was a rare daytime arrest operation and led to fighting that killed at least 10 Palestinians and left dozens more wounded. Voters in Virginia have elected Democratic state legislator Jennifer McClellan to fill an open House seat. She'll make history as the first black woman to represent Virginia in Congress. This is